Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and John Tortorelli. This is episode 388. In this episode, we're going to talk about the NBA draft, winners, losers, best fits, all types of draft content. Then we're going to get into some trivia, some NFL, some NBA stuff, and at the end, talk about two specific NFL topics, one pertaining to your boy Tua. Drew? I love when Tua's on the show.
We're not kind of up.
Really do.
We're actually not up. We're actually pretty stagnant right now.
I would love to start with one of my trivias.
Dude, if we start a show with a trivia every single time, I'll be euphoric. But how are you?
I feel amazing. Would love to get into it though. It's actually really. I love watching you guys squirm.
Yeah.
In my
Think about
gas.
that. Yo.
What the? Why'd you ask that?
I mean, you said not me, man.
Start off with the trivia, Rip. Let's get into it. Let's lock in. Let's lock in.
Do we not care how my day was? Like,
How was your day?
I was trying to see that shit too.
pretty good, man.
was
Went to the
crazy.
gym, got a nice lift in. All right, let's
day
get
is
into
it?
trivia. Today was legs. I was
Legs.
not happy at the gym. Go ahead,
My
Rich.
second favorite day.
Is it? No way. It's got to be back. I'll go shoulders, chest, legs. Abs every other day, though. Got to do them.
Abs are made in the kitchen, though. You know what I mean?
Abs are made in the kitchen. You're kind of right. I agree with that. However, you still have to work out the muscle. I
Yeah.
agree. It's like 90% diet.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. Good shit.
I respect it.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So I have these 6 random players. 6.
Of course. NFL?
No, blindly ranking these NBA All-Stars.
That's fire.
Okay.
Huh?
Current.
Current? That's a good question.
Yes, that is a good. Blindly ranking these current NBA All-Stars. First name up. How do I want to start this?
Am I taking the lead on this?
I think John should take the lead on
Well
this.
said.
I would love that. Let's go, John. Let's go, John. Let's go,
Okay.
John.
So first name up, I'm gonna start with Pascal Siakam.
Okay. That's a top 30 player in the NBA. We'll go at number 4 for Pascal.
First off, no thought at all. John was just like, fuck it, 4. That being said, you got to know this guy's sneaky. He's a fucking conniving, blind ranker.
Well, you know what, though? Pascal at 5 or 6, I would feel is too low. 1 or 2
This is
too
exactly
high.
how they think, bro.
No, bro. This is 5. Honestly,
Your
6.
first answer started in the middle.
You said 4. Nah.
He's at 4.
I'm a seasoned vet. John, let me give you a little bit of a little help here. 6. Stamped.
You're
He's
taking the
gonna-
lead, John. Here,
He's
I don't
gonna name
want to
a fake
influence.
all-star. I'm putting him at 5 then.
Pascal?
Pascal Siakam at 5.
Nice.
I don't want to influence your decision, dude.
No,
I
I'm here
respect that,
influencing.
Joel.
You can
wanna
have a
let
rookie.
them
You can
see
have a
how-
rookie bump
You are.
that too.
I want to see how it goes.
Me too. So Siakam at 5. Next name up, D Fox.
De'Aaron Fox will put slightly above him. I'm thinking 3 or 4.
Should have put him 6, man. Should have put him fucking 6. I knew it. All right, I'm thinking 4.
4 is reasonable.
I think 4 is valid.
Next name up, Brandon Ingram.
Okay, perfect. 6.
Brandon Ingram will go at number 6.
Okay.
The fall off has begun. Next name up, James Harden.
This isn't bad. As an all-star, he is historic. I understand we're talking current, but
You hate current.
He's been amazing.
James Harden. You have been shitting on him.
that's
for
not
a
true. It's not true at all. Respect
I would
James.
have
OG
Harden
Anunoby.
and Fox. Oh,
Oh, he thinks OG Anunoby is better than James Harden.
He's more impactful. That's so well said, Drew.
I'd rather have Fox above him, obviously, but we'll put Harden at number 3.
All right.
Respect a legend. Respect the GOAT. Respect
Fact.
the
Respect
That's
seeing
3.
one of the best
Could have
offensive
said,
players
listen, if we
to ever
really,
live.
really jacked, you're going to be like, yo,
It's not
suck it
bad.
too.
But 3 or 4
This is
fine.
where I fucked you guys. Desmond Bain.
He's not an all-star.
He's never made the All-Star game.
You guys thought I meant literal all-stars?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of
Yeah.
what you titled it.
Those are all all-stars.
That is exactly
Everyone
what
but Desmond Bain.
He hasn't even been a replacement all-star.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Brandon Ingram wasn't an
Shame.
all-star this
Yes,
year.
but he wasn't.
He's
He's
been.
been an all-star.
I just meant all-star type players, man.
What are we doing?
Come on, what are we
What the fuck
doing?
is this shit?
What the fuck is this shit? Facts.
You gotta get another name.
You gotta rip.
Yeah, I need another name.
Who's the last name on your list?
Tyrese Maxey.
He was an all-star.
That's valid.
That's valid.
Max above Harden. I'm fine with it. Max
You
above
folded.
cooked. I thought we were Baltimore's here.
What do you mean? We are ball knowers. We knew that Desmond Baker was
Brandon
not an
Ingram wasn't a
all-star.
replacement.
But he was an all-star. Who else was it? Darren Fox was a replacement.
Brandon Ingram, his MIP year was a replacement?
I think so.
Actually, I don't know.
He might have been a bona fide all-star.
He had a great year.
I thought he was a replacement.
That was a
Could've guessed.
fantastic
I guessed.
season.
I think you're talking about your boy Darius Garland.
Darius Garland was a 2-time all-star.
Zing.
Oh.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Only one. He made it the same year as LaMelo.
I think
He made it
we're
with
sure.
Jarrett.
I agree. That same year.
Was it that year?
Yes.
I thought Riv was right, but he's only one-time All-Star in 22.
I know.
Was he a
Darius Garland's
replacement?
career.
No, he was a bona fide all-star.
Stupid idiot.
No, he's talking about
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram.
Oh, shit.
Apologize.
LaMelo was a replacement too.
He was.
We're here. Gave me there. He was a bona fide?
Yeah. That was a pretty great year from him.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a placement. You know, wings in the West are kind of like insane.
They're really
OD.
good. He was
They're
supposed to
OD.
be one of them ones, though.
Wow. Well, my list is fucked, so I'll just have to give you my one later.
All right. We started off with my ranking, but it's in the trash. Nice.
Yep. So that's in the garbage.
I would have
We'll try
loved to
again.
start this show with the trivia. You had a great idea, but the trivia was naming third overall picks because that's what Drew mentioned before the show.
We could do that
It's a
still.
stellar
I,
idea.
I
Might as well have
really
some fun.
love that. I
right.
want to cook. I want to see how our knowledge stacks up right here.
All right, so we are going to do this. John's going to be the guy that looks up to make sure that we're right. A lot of them are going to be pretty obvious to start, I'm assuming. But whoever messes up first, you're out. And then it's just survival of the fittest until then.
That's tough. I
Right.
like
All
that.
right.
Yeah, let's go.
Great idea.
All right, you can start us off.
Me?
Sure.
Well, John is the guy. Well,
John,
John is doing the intro.
John picked
Yeah.
and for the
He is doing the
don't
intro.
be racist. That's all I'm gonna say. If you pick me first,
No, we're
gonna be
going around
aggravated.
the table year by year. Or
No, we don't have to do it right here.
Please
Just
don't
make
do
sure
year by
they're
year.
pick
That's
three. As long as they're pick three, it's valid. You just have to name third overall picks.
So we're not doing it in chronological order.
No.
that would like
You don't want to do that?
I
That
don't.
sounds like
No,
fun.
does sound like
I
fun,
think
but I feel like
chronological
it'll be a
order is the
lot
best way.
more loose, a lot more entertaining if you're just like naming number three picks and it's like
I'll
suddenly.
be honest,
I have
as
an
a
idea
viewer,
for you guys.
As a viewer, I want to know in chronological order.
I want that's
Whoever
facts.
edits,
He's
whoever's
spit.
editing these videos is gonna have to just go, oh, whatever's name,
Let
year.
me present you an idea.
As a viewer, it's hard
Wouldn't
to
you
follow.
guys like to do this as a group and we name the third overall pick for as many years as we can until we don't know it?
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay,
thinking.
we
I
can
want a
also do.
competition.
I was like, the competition sounds fun too.
And we should do it in chronological order.
I mean, we could do that
This is
too.
gonna end pretty fast, but all right.
You
Yeah.
think? I think maybe like 2009 to get us, but I could probably go that far back.
Let's do it.
All right.
I could go that
I
far
really
back.
hate this idea, but let's fucking
And
do
it was so much more fun when it was just like NBA history, name number three overall picks.
Yeah.
But if we want to do it in chronological, all right, this video is going to be a lot shorter. But
All
let's
right,
do it.
Bet. Can we name every third overall pick in NBA history? If you get one wrong, you're out. Who wants to start off?
All right, 2024. Who was drafted yesterday? Reed Shepard.
Nice.
Last year, 2023, Scoot Henderson.
Yep.
That's valid. In 2022, oh man, am I getting out already?
Don't worry
Holy
about it,
moly!
bro.
This is your fucking fault.
So I gotta, in order to do this, I gotta remember the first overall pick because that's how I remember this the best. So in 2023, the first overall pick was Victor Wembanyama. In 2022, it was Paolo Banchero. That means that the second overall pick was Chet Holmgren. That year was Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that level of thinking.
Jabari Smith was just immediate in the head. Now, I'll be honest. We were at 2021.
Yes.
All right, so this is Cade. This is Jalen. And this is Evan. Evan Mobley, number three overall pick.
Yep.
Fuck me and
He cooked.
Don't
what year is
think
this?
about too much.
2020.
You're on 2020 now.
Is that LaMelo?
I think he's 100% right.
Are you
No.
guessing
I'm not saying LaMelo was the. I'm saying first overall pick.
No. All right, I'm going to be quiet.
That would mean that the
Be quiet.
first
Don't help him. Don't help him. Don't
James
help him.
Wiseman is one. Yes, it was LaMelo. It was
James
LaMelo.
Johnson is
Just
not
let him
one.
be. Let him be. What's the answer?
LaMelo was three.
He was three.
Oh, Ant-Man was one.
Ant-Man was one.
Man.
All right, you got it
Well,
regardless.
James was top two.
You got there.
I remember.
Okay, so the year before Anthony Edwards was Zion Williamson.
It was.
Which means that the third overall pick was Mr. RJ Barrettson.
Correct. Barrettson.
Barrettson.
All right, I like
RJ
that.
Barrettson.
So this also leads me to believe that the number three overall pick was Luka Doncic.
In 2018, you're correct.
2017.
Ooh.
This is the Jays. It's just which J?
If you got this in the back, I believe in you.
Tatum.
Man. Is that your guess?
Yes.
2017?
Yes.
Jason Tatum's yes.
Okay. Now we're on
should be easy,
2016.
baby.
First overall pick was Ben Simmons. Second overall pick was Brandon Ingram. Third overall pick was Jaylen Brown.
Yes, sir.
That's when the Jays went back to back.
We're on the 2015.
I have to think about who went number one.
I
here.
can give some fire hints, but you're not
No.
gonna get one off
Give
right.
me a chance.
Can I help with some fire hints?
So Ben Simmons was 2016, 2015. Is this Karl Anthony Towns' draft?
John, can I give a hint?
I give hints.
I'm sorry.
You're spitting.
Actually,
it was
no, you
Cats.
give
It was Cats.
This is one of Phillies.
That's too large a hint.
No, he's trying to
Come
help.
on, bro.
Oh, that's easy.
We're trying to get far here.
Give
got
the
it.
team and the year.
This sucks because I know 2014. I can't say 2014.
He just gave you the best hint ever.
He said
gave you a great
Philly.
yes.
Philly, yes. You know 2014. Who? Come on.
All right.
Who came after
Some
One of
teams
Philly.
focus on certain things in multiple
Give him a shot
years in the
clock, man.
drafts.
Is it Jalil Okafor? Bang. All right.
Yes, Joel Okafor.
And then the next
2015.
guy
Yes,
is Joel
it's Joel
Embiid.
Embiid. I knew it was Joel Embiid 2014 because it was Andrew
fucked
Wiggins,
up,
right?
2014.
2014 was Joel Embiid. So you're at 2013.
Because it went Wiggins, Jabari.
I want
Joel
to give
Embiid.
you guys
Yes.
an amazing hint.
Wait, so in 2015 it was Jalil Okafor third overall.
Yes.
Wow, I got those confused. If
Yes.
it was on me,
I knew. Oh, wow.
It was, I
Okay.
just knew it was back to back
Yeah.
Philly.
I
days.
knew
Okay.
2014.
So then
'Cause remember,
2015 we
Embiid
had
missed the first
2014.
year.
Okay,
Embiid-
you're at 2013 now.
No, you're at 2013.
I was Joel Embiid.
He was Joel Embiid.
Oh, okay.
Remember,
Oh,
Joel
damn.
missed the first year, so then they, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, 2013. Let me try to guess. Okay, the first overall pick in 2014 was Andrew Wiggins. The first overall pick in 2013 had to be Anthony Bennett.
It was.
If it was Anthony Bennett, the second overall pick in that draft, I believe, was Derek Williams.
Okay.
The third overall pick.
It wasn't.
It doesn't matter. All that matters is
wasn't
pick
Derek
3.
Williams?
All that matters is
Okay.
pick 3.
I know.
Okay,
I just want to help you
Okay,
out.
Anthony Bennett was first overall. Number 2 that's Victor Oladipo.
Yes.
Yes.
So number 3 is Otto Porter Jr.
Yes.
He's cooked.
Well done.
He cooked.
Cook up.
All right, 2012. Number 1 was AD. Number 2 was Kid Gilchrist. Is the answer Bradley Beal? I'm going Bradley Beal.
Great guess. I was gonna get yes. It's Bradley Beal for 20. 2012 is Bradley
You
Beal.
can't do shit like that.
What the fuck was that about?
No, there's this cool fun fact. There was a 6-year streak where teams had the third overall pick in consecutive years. It was the Celtics in 17-16, the Sixers in 15-14, and the Wizards had it back-to-back years before
Ah,
that. So that
gotcha.
was gonna be my hint.
All right, it's all right. We don't need hints until like it's
know.
desperation.
I thought that was cool.
All right, go ahead. Now
On
it's
the
2011.
2011.
I have one question. Is this Trey Burke's draft?
No.
This is Kyrie Irving's draft.
Yeah, he was first overall.
Trey Burke was 2013.
Oh, okay.
I've been going solely off number 1 and building from there. That's the only way I've been able to go in chronological.
Kyrie Irving was in that draft. Kemba Walker was in that draft. Kawhi was in that draft.
He just changed his name. He was banned. What's his? He was stuck in a
What's his
tennis.
name? Is it
Cantor.
Ennis?
Yes, and it's
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we're at 2010, which
Oh, so I
means
am
this
better
is
than this, I thought.
2009 was Blake Griffin. 2010, that's John
You're
Wall's
at-
class.
2010, you're saying?
Yeah, John Wall was the first overall pick, man. What a throwback. What a legend. John Wall, who was the second overall pick in that draft?
the king of lawn mid-range twos.
All right, it was Evan Turner.
Yes.
Evan Turner.
It was
yeah,
Evan
you're
Turner.
spinning. You're spinning.
Yeah, man.
So the
When he
third
broke his
overall
back
pick.
that year.
Yeah.
It sucks. I know
That was a nice
20.
pull,
I
bro.
know that draft. I don't know 2009. I'm really in my bag.
I'll give you a hint if you need one.
Yeah, what's the hint?
This player played with a player we just mentioned. Just mentioned him.
We named like 10 players. We just mentioned, though, you just
Just-
mentioned Jalil Okafor, Joel Embiid.
Just
What do you mean, Cap?
mentioned one of his teammates.
That doesn't help. I thought it did. Not helping me.
Who did you name just now?
Evan Turner.
And it's
So when
and
you're,
it's
and it's
Cantor.
so when
Cantor
you're
also.
going to guess, make sure he is one of this recent player's teammates.
Okay.
Very recent.
I'm trying to think because I used to play my career back in these days. I'm trying to think who I played with. John Wall, that's the only one that's coming to my mind right now. I'm trying to remember who was in his draft class.
Boogie.
DeMarcus Cousins.
He was.
He was the 5th overall pick, I believe.
Okay.
5th or 4th overall pick.
Al-Farouq Aminu.
Al-Farouq Aminu. He was like the 6th, 7th pick.
Uh huh. I'm really getting
Okay.
into my 2K11
Now it's starting to come to me a little bit more.
combine.
You guys are getting this top 10.
Was this 2010?
Yeah.
It was 2010.
Fuck.
Shooting. Oh, wait. Oh. Ooh.
Who? You know who?
No, it's
who,
not
who?
him. It's not him. I was gonna say Eric Gordon, but it's
Right.
not him.
No.
Was John Wall?
Let's go. I have 2009. It's up.
And I have 08 because that was Derrick Rose.
yeah.
Yeah.
That shit is easy. I remember
I'm pretty
that.
sure I have 9.
Okay, how many more hints am I getting, John?
I'll give you one more. This player is a product of the AAC. Played down south.
Brother, you're cooked.
These guesses are terrible.
Just give him the team. What's the team?
The whole conference in basketball.
Okay, well, he played with one of the last 2 third overall picks.
One of the last 2 third overall
I
picks.
said he
Cantor
just
or
mentioned this player.
Who would you say?
The last 2 as in like 24, 23 or
11 and 12.
11 and 12. Okay.
Why would it be 24, 23?
I know. I was wondering. He said the last
Who
2.
were the last 2? Was Ennis
Cancer
Cancer?
and who'd you say?
Oladipo. Oh, no.
Yes.
That was the second
No,
overall
he was second
Oh, shit.
overall
pick. And
pick.
13, not 12.
And Otto Porter
It was
Jr.
Beal and Beal.
Otto.
He played with Cantor and Beal.
Otto was before.
No,
Beal.
I said one of.
Oh,
these two.
okay. Oh,
one
okay.
of Cantor.
Wait, so he played at Kentucky? That's in the SEC though, so it's not ACC.
Yes, I said AAC.
I'm saying.
I gave you a lot of hints. You're welcome.
AAC.
I
You
gave.
got Syracuse. You got Duke. You got UNC. You got Pittsburgh. Louisville. Wait, was Louisville? No, he plays in the ACC right now, right? Well, he did on that team.
That team, yes.
Okay, so Louisville. You got Notre Dame.
They also play in the SEC too.
Maryland.
College. Like
What?
Like for football, they're in the
I
SEC.
can't. These guys-
Bro, these guesses are terrible.
Just give the team. What team was it that drafted him?
Why would I give you the team, bro?
You can't keep
I just
giving.
told you one of his teammates. But I said for football, I think they're in the SEC.
Listen,
For
this isn't me.
basketball,
So this is on. This is
Oh
on
my
Joel.
God.
This is on Joel.
I'm
Honestly,
struggling.
Joel, if I were you, forget the conference thing, right?
You
Just think.
fucking said it.
Just
Let John cook. Go ahead,
settle
John.
down, buddy.
Wait a minute. That sounds. You know what?
Come on, bro. What are you doing?
Keep going, John.
He played with one of Bradley Beal or Renee's Cantor. Rennes, whatever the hell's name is.
Okay, who played with Ennis Cancer? Ennis Cancer, he
You got
played.
the first 2 picks in this class. It was AD.
Ennis Cancer played with the
last year.
Jazz.
That's
When he
cool.
was with the Jazz, it's Derek Favors.
Yeah,
It
that
is
was
Derek
yes,
Favors.
yes.
Yes.
Bing, let's do
That's
it.
It's James Harden. 09.
Derrick Rose, Malik Beasley, OJ motherfucking Mayo.
Tough.
Good work, brother.
Okay,
James Harden, OJ Mayo, both right.
so we're at what? 2008.
7.
We're in 2007.
Mayo was 08. Harden was 09.
Yeah, we're in 2007.
2007 was Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's class,
Yes.
or was it 06?
It was
No,
Kevin
that's
Durant's
Odin
class.
Durant.
Yes.
So
That's Odin
Greg
Durant.
Oden,
I don't know who.
Kevin
I
Durant.
don't know either.
Oh,
like,
man.
no shot.
Bro, whenever we talk about this draft,
stop
Odin
at
and
2.
KD, they're the only ones that are mentioned.
But dude, there's like 4 other awesome NBA players out of this class.
Was
Okay,
that
so-
LA's class
Is that
too?
Russ's? Is Russ in that? No,
No, Russ is
Cap.
with
KD
D-Rose.
was with
Russ
D Rose.
was
Facts.
with-
Yeah.
OJ Mayo's
No,
class.
KD was not with D Rose.
No.
Russ is with
I know.
D-Rose. Yeah. That's Kevin Love, Russ, Drew Holiday.
Yeah. That was a
D-Rose.
good ass
Yeah,
class.
Yeah, they had some
Class.
dudes in there.
Damn, Greg Oden, Kevin Durant. I'm not gonna take a long time. If I don't know it, I don't know it. We took a lot of time on this already. Damn it, Kevin Durant, Greg Oden. Who else was in his draft
Want
class?
to give me? I'll give you a good, very good hint. Played on a college basketball power back in 07.
Powerhouse.
Power.
So we're
House.
probably talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Powerhouse,
Memphis,
sure.
right? We're talking
That's
about
what the
Memphis
phrase
was a
is.
powerhouse
sure,
back
whatever you
then.
wanna call it.
Kansas was a powerhouse back then. I think.
I don't think Memphis was. Kansas, yes. UNC. What year is this?
07.
And I'm here thinking about 06. I don't give a fuck about 07. I'm here thinking about 06.
06.
I got fucking
06.
05. Who the
This would
fuck got
apply too.
drafted in 05?
What'd you say? Who got-
05 is one of my favorite players, bro.
I'm supposed to know that?
Yeah.
Okay. You never
Yeah.
told me. You give me vibes that your favorite players like Jimmer Fredette.
That's nasty.
06 was D. Will and Chris Paul. I know they were not in this draft class.
Chris Paul was 2005.
Okay.
I knew it.
Thank
I
you.
knew it.
But this player for 05,
No,
the answer is a contemporary.
07,
Chris Paul.
right?
Right now
07.
we're on 07. Yeah, but that 05 guess I'll help you out with.
Damn it, John.
2007 college basketball superpower.
Let me
Played
go
with another all-star at that college.
Let
and
me-
another lottery pick.
let
Is
me-
07 Dwight?
Why are you saying
Good
such a
heavens.
term?
No.
No.
He was the first
year
overall pick.
I know. No, I'm saying.
Dwight was 05 or 06.
He was 05.
That's what I'm saying.
He was
05. Yeah, he was
05.
the
Dwight-
first. He was the first.
I know he was first overall. I'm saying his draft class.
I
It
think I
wasn't.
got this wrong. I think this is where
No, I really want to emphasize this team One of the best college basketball programs. One of the best runs we've ever
They
seen.
went back to back.
North Carolina?
No.
They went back to back.
Joel.
Not
you got this in the
UConn.
bag.
Not
What's the
UConn.
other
What's
team?
the other team that went back to back in college?
In our era.
You got
It's
it.
Al Horford.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Bingo.
The All-Star he played with was Joakim, though, obviously.
All right. I've been here really thinking about 06. There's nothing in my head. I have nothing. I need
I
a
want to
guess.
give you a hint.
All right. I
This
need
one
a
is
hint.
actually really hard, I think.
It is very hard,
It
actually.
is, right?
Wasn't
Yeah.
Emeka Okafor the first overall pick in this draft?
I think that was this year. And
Or Andrew Bogut?
No,
one of those.
no. We're in 06. This is Banyati.
Andrea Bargnani.
Then 6 was Andrea
so
Bargnani.
when was Okafor first?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
All right. I need a hint. I really don't know. I just know Banyati was one.
I have a few hints that would so badly give it away, I feel like. Okay. This is a 2-time NBA champion. He was a part of that Laker team that won the championship in 2010.
That's a great guess, Sean.
A great hint.
Uh-huh.
It's a great hint. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Back to back. I'm automatically going Ariza.
He was in the 09 team as well. Got it right.
Was it Ariza?
Is that your guess?
He didn't go back. Don't guess that. He didn't go back to
All right,
back.
good looks.
He wasn't on the 2010 team.
Yeah. 2006 is the year.
2006. Fuck. All right, I'm going Bynum. Final answer.
Andrew Bynum.
If it's wrong, can we guess
yeah,
it?
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know the answer. I'm going Bynum.
So, wait, hold up. So, if that's his guess and it's not right, are we going to give one of you a chance to veto it to save him or no? Can we do that?
You don't have to. I'm wrong.
I feel bad because Bynum was not a lottery pick.
Oh, I didn't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't-
So,
check.
we save him if we get it right.
Bynum was a top 10 pick. Number 10, 2005. I'm sorry. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't know the answer.
It's not Trevor Ariza.
I'll help out. I'll help out Drew. I'll help out Drew.
He wasn't drafted
So
by the
it
Lakers.
wasn't Andrew Bynum. It wasn't Pau Gasol.
He was drafted by the Pelicans.
Yo, it was
Yeah, is it?
it was Adam Morrison.
Is that your guess? Is that your guess?
You're making me doubt now, John.
Yes, it has to be. You
I'm
can't
just
think of no
confirming.
random ass
He
name
said
like that.
You
I'm
said,
confirming.
He said 2-time MVP champ.
You can't think of it that random ass name.
I'm going
like
with
that.
Adam Morrison.
All right,
Correct.
I would have never
Attaboy.
gotten that.
Great pull.
Happy to be out. Good shit. Well done.
Well done, Joel.
Happy to be here for the ride. now.
2005.
That's-
This is the Andrew Bynum draft class.
That's Chris Paul, right?
No, this is Andrew Bogut and Chris Paul. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So then it's Darren Williams.
Yes, attaboy.
Okay.
One of my favorite point guards of
Fire.
all
Yeah.
time.
Why
When you
did you
said
say
Chris, when you said Chris Paul, I thought him as the first overall.
No, I just knew Chris. I knew Chris Paul and Darren Williams went back to back because they were always. Oh, yep, okay. After
Two
this
best
gets
point guards
dark.
at that time. Not named Steve Nash. So, yeah.
He was up there.
2004.
This
I
is
get
the Dwight
easier.
Howard draft.
No.
Yes.
2004.
Five
It
was
is.
Dwight. Four is Dwight.
You just
Oh,
said
so
you just
three.
said five,
Technically,
bro.
he's
Oh,
right.
three, I'm
Three,
cooking.
yeah,
Yeah.
facts. All right, 4 is Dwight. Facts.
You're cooked, buddy.
Because all 3 is easy.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 is the
Three is easy.
easiest answer
Yeah,
ever.
it
I'm
is.
still struggling with.
So, because if
Bro.
man, 04. This probably we're probably both gonna get eliminated here. Dwight Howard's in that draft class. I'm gonna take a shoot in the
Oh,
dark.
yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with Brandon Roy.
That your guess for 04? Because I want to give you a
Damn
hint.
it. I don't think.
I want to give you a hint.
Give me a hint before I answer.
Okay.
With Brandon Roy.
So the player taken after was Sean Livingston. That's one hint. The second hint is he was teammates with another player that was taken inside the top 5. I gave the 4th overall pick. He wasn't teammates with Sean. So how do you feel about that? Is that a good hint? Teammates with a player in the top 5, taken right before Sean Livingston.
Number 2 and number 3 went to the same school.
Yeah.
He's a bull.
He was
He was a bull.
He was.
Think of Derrick Rose.
You know this answer?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it just because he played for my team.
Okay.
Think of Derrick Rose.
Ben Gordon.
Yes.
Attaboy. Good pull, bro.
And then this is Carmelo Anthony.
It is Carmelo Anthony.
2003 is Carmelo Anthony.
And now this one,
02.
think of
Yeah, I'm glad he knows it.
the Warriors.
It's a great guess.
Yes. That's a
hint.
very good hint.
That's all I'm gonna tell
I
you.
said guess 2 now. Shit.
Think of everybody.
Think about yesterday.
Okay. He's honestly up to something nuts.
Think of yesterday.
Yes, he's right. He's right.
Think of the Warriors. Well, I'm talking about.
Warriors
What-
and
what comes to
yesterday.
my
was
mind.
22 years ago, too.
What comes to my mind is the We Believe team. Am I cooking? Am I hotter? Am I
no,
colder?
no.
You're
Don't
actually
think-
as far as shit. Don't think.
Here. He just said Warriors yesterday. What's yesterday? and the Warriors.
I just fell out to him, bro. Come on.
Think of everybody.
goodness.
All right.
It can't be anybody on the
Hey,
team.
literally- no, it can't
You
be.
have to, like,
Warriors yesterday. What was yesterday?
you know.
Hold on.
I'm
Just
glad
let me
Bob
think, let me
Myers
think.
left, man.
Yeah.
I really am. Like it's a treat.
I saw him yesterday at the draft too.
dope.
Yeah.
Here's the
It's
sad
like
thing,
6'7",
bro. If
bro.
you don't
It's
know,
like Dehls.
now it's getting to this point. If you don't know the GM of the Warriors, you don't know this answer.
Well, it's Luke Walton.
Final answer.
That's the GM of the Warriors. Wait, no, it's not. Oh my goodness, it's Mike Dunleavy.
I'm sorry, saying that this is wrong.
No, he doesn't get that.
It doesn't get
No, fuck no.
All right, Ray.
Is this Mike Dunleavy?
It was Mike Dunleavy, but I'm sorry, brother. You're wrong. Out of respect for the game and the integrity
You know,
of our game,
it's
sorry,
over.
it
The sport,
happens.
we can't
All
give
right,
you that,
2001. If you get it right, you win.
If I remember correctly, it's one of the Gasol brothers.
It is.
And Powell is older, so I'm gonna go Powell.
Yes.
He locks it
Mark's
up. Well
also
done.
second round.
Good dub.
Well done. That was a good dub.
How far back did we go?
2001.
Nice.
I know the next two.
All right, go crazy.
2000.
He has a podcast, Old School Ricky Miles, and then after that, Baron Davis.
Yeah, he
Yes.
told both.
Yes.
2000
what's the
is
next
Darius
year?
Miles, and 1999 is Baron
And
Davis.
98 is
This
where I am fucked.
It's a hard one.
I've never heard his name before.
Theo Ratliff.
No.
No.
That's a great name. Theo Rattler.
He was drafted somewhere in the top 5. I feel like though he just sounds like a top 5 guy.
This guy looks like he does my taxes.
What's his name?
His name is Rafe
Rafe
Lafrance.
LaFrance.
What?
Denver Nugget 92. 98. I'm sorry.
Rafe.
I had his jersey.
Mahood
High
Rafe?
key,
Yeah.
though.
He was the number 3 over. Let me see.
High key. Looks like.
Oh, they don't have a pronunciation. for
You
his
talk
name.
about Mahood Rafe?
No.
No, we're talking about.
No, the 1998 third overall pick was
Yes,
Laurent,
it was
LaFrance,
Rafe
whatever.
LaFrence. 97 was Chauncey.
Oh, I know
yes,
who that is.
96 was Sharif
He played for
Abdir.
Portland, right? Ralph?
Yes,
Remember him too, guy.
That's a great
I didn't
game,
know the
man.
first
That was a great
that
game.
was fun. To
Great
see.
job,
pick.
Phyllis.
The Luke Walton drop was fucking.
That I'm
killed.
sorry.
It was
I hate.
terrible.
I tried
I'm not
to.
laughing at
We
you.
tried hard.
but
We
it was
did
terrible.
try. We
Yeah.
did try. I gave you a really good hint.
No doubt about it. It was terrible on my part.
Nah, you're good, man.
Talking about the NBA draft, let's shift focus to there because last night was the first round of the NBA draft. Today, the second round finished. The first time ever that the draft is now being held on 2 days. So that's a different thing the NBA is doing.
What'd you guys think about that?
Not a huge
It was
fan
cool.
of that at all.
I
hate that.
The presidential debate was today. That's why it was so early. But I'm fine with it. As long as they have a little bit more structure. But I don't want to watch 60 picks in one day.
I'm
The
with
on-
you.
The
'cause
only. Go ahead, bud.
that will go well past midnight, but I don't like it because you've got guys going in the green room, and then some of them leave without even having their name called at night one.
That's been like that though.
For football and
Well, when there's 2 days or 2 rounds in one day, they're still going to be in the green room. They're going to have to leave, and then
football has had
wait
that
until the
going
next
on
day.
for years now. I mean, we've had it where they've had to take players out of the green room because it's getting to that point where they're probably not going to get drafted. It is tough on those kids for sure, and it's an unfortunate thing. But for some of those, like Kyle, that's the one that sticks out to me. That he's hugging his girl, he's hugging his mom. Oh, I don't know about his mom. Apparently, there's a whole situation about
yeah,
that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
it's
I've seen
crazy.
it, yeah.
It was crazy. He was right next to our section. We were there. We're cheering him on. I
Oh,
felt
really?
bad, yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, dude. I mean, obviously, you see that video and you feel bad for him. But again, he ended up getting drafted the very next day. I think he was the second name off the
Yeah.
board. So it's tough to see, but that is a part of it, But other than that, it was pretty enjoyable. But it was long.
60 picks in one day is way too much.
Yeah.
I mean, the NFL, they do the draft perfectly. The first day is the first round. And then day 2, second round, third round, and then day 3, second round, third round, fourth round.
No, second round, third round.
Day 3 is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th.
yeah.
I like the way they do it. I like the way that they spaced it out. We got some winners. We
lot
got
of them.
some losers. We could talk about the winners of the NBA draft first. You guys know where I'm going with. I'm going with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Makes sense.
I think they won
Number one?
the first round of the draft.
Biggest winners.
To me, the biggest winner. Because this is a team that just made the Western Conference Finals. They have a superstar in Anthony Edwards. And Tim Connolly put it perfectly in his post-game press conference, post-draft press conference. He said that there are 3 ways to get better as a team when you're over the second apron, right? There are 3 ways in general: free agency, through the trade market, or through the draft. because Minnesota is a second apron team, they don't have no money. They can't go get a quality player in free agency.
Yep.
The trade market, they could, but they would have to give up one of their players. So what's the only other option? It's the NBA draft, where they're picking. They're not going to get a true player with star potential in the 20s. You trade up to number 9 and with the Spurs, and you get Rob Dillingham, who you can argue is the best scorer in this class. 14-4 at Kentucky, shot 44% from 3 on 5 attempts. He's a miniature guard. You don't expect him to play defense, but he fills something that Minnesota needs. It's shot creation. It's one of those guys that just go and get your own bucket. I'm not saying he's going to be ready as a rookie right away in crucial playoff moments, but Anthony Edwards was the only guy they could rely on to do that. And Rob Dillingham now gives them an option for the future and somebody who can contribute currently, who can become that backcourt with Anthony Edwards while Conley is on his way out because he's older. They filled their biggest need in the draft with a player that got true star potential. And then Terrence Shannon Jr. averaged 25, 26 a game in college. He's been in college for a while. He's a 4-year player?
5 maybe.
He's a 4-5-year player. He is ready to play now and ready to contribute right now, and he's somebody who can go get a bucket as well. So I thought they won night one. They improved their team through the draft.
I don't know if I would say they're a winner. I wouldn't call them a loser either. I just think you're putting a lot of pressure on Rob Dillingham in his first couple of years. Because if you watched, I think it was Tim Connelly talking about it. I don't know who it was, but it was Minnesota. They were talking about how they're he's playing immediately. He's going to get reps immediately. And, shout out to him learning behind Mike Conley. And if there was a defense you hide a player like him behind, it would be this Minnesota defense. You have Jaden, Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid off the bench, Alexander Walker and stuff. It's just, for me, why I wouldn't say a winner is just it's a lot of pressure on Rob to come in and immediately impact. And guards that small, they typically take a couple years. Maybe not a couple, but they take a year or two to kind of figure things out, figure out the NBA game, get their body in NBA shape, So my winner of the draft, who I got up here? Oh, it's the Portland Trailblazers. I talked about it before. I think getting Deni Avdija in a trade I thought was huge. Trading Malcolm Brogdon, trading another 2029 first and the 14th pick, getting the player who probably isn't going to be better than Deni at any point in his next couple of years at 14 was huge. Getting somebody who has improved his shooting. We'll find out if it's real this year, but last year he's improved every year of his career, been a really good rebounder, an elite defender in Washington, and you kind of need that in Portland, a defensive identity, and then they went out and they got a big man that can do that can give them that in Donovan Clingan at 7. He fell. Memphis didn't seem like it felt like the asking prices were too much for Memphis to move up. So then, he fell right to Portland. And that's a big move for them, especially when they don't see DeAndre Ayton as their long-term center. You have Robert Williams, who I think it's a really good backup, a defensive big. You have Scoot, you have Shaedon Sharpe, who aren't the best defenders, actually horrible defenders at this point. So why not go get him a wing defender? Why not go get him a rim protector? And they did that. So for me, Portland is definitely one of my winners.
Portland was definitely on my list. To go opposite of your winner,
who you have?
Let's go with the Spurs. The fact that at pick 4 they go and they draft Stephon Castle, but you look at this trade that they did have with Minnesota, you get 2 first-round picks essentially. You get a pick swap in 2030 that's top 1 protected, and then you get a fully unprotected pick in 2031. Now that's ways away. You assume that Anthony Edwards and company are still going to be on the squad, still dominating the league, but 2031, anything can happen. That could be a valuable pick down the line. And at pick 4, you get Stephon Castle. That's going to be probably not the lead guard, but is still going to be a great defender for what they're trying to build over there in San Antonio. And he's going to be put in a position where he has the form to be a good shooter. He obviously has the ability to finish at the basket. But with Victor Wembanyama, that pick and roll is going to be awesome. That's going to be great to see. But I look at the Spurs as winners for the idea that they turned this draft in what is a weaker draft class for the grand scheme of things into 2 potential first-round picks. I say 2 potential for the better of whatever Minnesota's is in 2030, and then another pick unprotected in 2031. So I have to give love to the Spurs for sure.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't mention your team yet.
I felt trust me, I have a bunch.
I got one more. I'll say.
I'm not going to take your team.
All right, so then you can go ahead and give yours.
One of the biggest winners of the night was the Utah Jazz. Take Cody Williams, number 10.
For sure.
I'm not a huge Cody Williams fan. He missed some time last year with a wrist and ankle injury, but Utah feels like a good destination for him to grow. It reminds me awfully a lot of Zaire Williams to Memphis, another 10th overall pick a couple of years ago. taking a shot in a very toolsy wing, gets downhill to the rim, good fielder for the game, but he's a huge project. He's a boom or bust player. I like that for Utah. But more importantly, I thought Isaiah Collier at pick 29, the best value pick in the night. You're getting someone who can really play off Keontae George, getting to the downhill, physical driver, gets to the foul line. The jump shot can improve too. And I feel like long term, that could be your starting backcourt. To get that at the second to last pick of the first round was pretty insane value to me. There are a lot of teams who I felt could have used him.
Last team that I'll mention that had multiple draft picks that I would consider a winner, ironically, would be the Washington Wizards. I say that with the fact that number 2, you get Alexander Sarr. They did have a rough start by trading Deni Avdija for the 14th pick, and I believe Malcolm Brogdon was also included in that trade.
29 first round pick as well.
But they got a guy.
Yeah, at 14, getting Bub. That was a great addition for them.
I had him going to Philly.
The thing with Bub is that obviously he could be better at getting downhill and getting to the basket. That creation aspect of his game needs refinement. But as a spot up shooter, as getting to his spot, that type of scorer, he's obviously great in that regard. And getting Keyshawn George with the pick that they traded for with the New York Knicks, I thought that was a great lick. But getting the best prospect, in my opinion, at pick 2, that's where they won it for me.
You think Jordan Poole grooms Bob Carrington? Think he grooms Bob Carrington? Like a mentor?
I don't know. I don't know if he's that type, to be honest.
So as of now, who do we have as winners?
I had Jazz, but he took it.
The Blazers as winners. I had the Timberwolves. You had the Wizards.
I have the Wizards and the Spurs. Last 2 teams I have Miami getting Khalil Ware at pick 15.
Yep.
The fact that you can have him now paired in the front court with Bam Adebayo for years. Miami Heat fans have been begging to have a counterpart with Bam Adebayo. You cannot have Kevin Love be your spot 5. Now you actually have someone that can be that enforcer down low while Bam is out on the perimeter having to switch and guard like we've seen a ton already in his career.
He's never had that type of player.
No, never.
I mean, when he came into the league as a starter, I think it was Myers Leonard alongside him at times in the playoffs, right? So, like, Bam having someone who can allow him to really play and roam and switch more so that he doesn't have to recover, get back into the play.
And Khalil also offers you the ability to stretch the floor out a little bit. So, to me, I look at Miami, obvious winners, and of course, we already know where I'm going. I'm going to Los Angeles Lakers, getting a top 10 prospect in Dalton Connect at pick 17, an elite shooter in college, shot 40% from 3 on 7 attempts, 42% on catch and shoot, off screen shot 37%. He was amazing last season. I believe he had 6 35-point games last year. He was nothing short of phenomenal. To get him at pick 17, to me, that was the steal of the night. That was the best value pick of the night. The Lakers have to be happy with themselves.
You know, there have been players that have reminded me of Dalton Connect in the past before that have been drafted. I can go all the way back to like the early 2010s when Nick Stauskas was one of those guys from Michigan. I'm not disrespecting him. This is just doing some observations, right? Nick Stauskas, I thought was a really good college player. He didn't have the athleticism to live in the NBA. Then I look at a player like Buddy Hield not too long ago from Oklahoma, who we thought he'd be a little bit better. He had some star potential coming out of the draft. His potential was high, but he's just become, which is more than enough, one of the better three-point shooters in the game. And I think he is an average athlete. Dalton Connect, I've looked around and I've seen the biggest question marks for him has been defense.
Yeah.
But a guy like that has athletic tools, you can teach to play defense.
For sure.
I don't think Dalton Connect is a complete negative on that side of the floor. Offensively, what he brings you, he's going to be a day one rotational player.
He's honestly a 3-level scorer. Can finish at the basket.
He's got a nice left
He's
hand.
a great player,
Really good
and I
left hand.
think prospects of the past that I mentioned previously, teams were scared to take Dalton Connect because of that reason, because of the limited upside, because he's an older prospect. But he's truly ready to play now, and it wouldn't shock me if he had one of the 3 best rookie seasons. And I think you can teach a defender who has athletic tools to play defense.
Without a doubt. I mean, most shooters like this, you don't expect them to be really good finishers, but when he gets to the rim, he is explosive enough to finish over guys. And I just look at what he does bring as a shooter, off movement. It's one of the most complete shooters I've ever seen coming out the draft. And really the only reason why he felt to me is because of his age at 23. Because, like, Buddy Hield, he was 24, 23 as well as a rookie. But, like, if you're getting Buddy Hield, the 17th overall pick, you're happy. Well, he reminds me of a bit is Boyan as a shooter. But, like, again, I think he brings more off the dribble. And I think for the Lakers, that's the perfect not third option, but the perfect small forward to plug in to fill out your starting lineup. And honestly, in some nights, he'll be a perfect, more than capable shot creator as that third piece.
They already have a set rotation. LeBron, Anthony Davis, Reeves, Rui.
Mm-hmm.
It's that too. Dalton, they're looking for
Dalton is that next guy up.
Apparently, there's conversations about Max Christie taking another leap this season. Yeah. I have to wait and see about that.
Cam Reddish over him
for sure. Yeah. And also, honestly, Dalton, let me not say can be an immediate starter, but he can work his way in there.
He should be an immediate impact player.
I agree with that. We needed shooting. We were 28th, I believe, in attempts. That's obviously going to go up next season. Probably losing D'Angelo Russell. Don't know what's going to happen with that. Obviously, we have to see how all that transpires, but Dalton Connect was a great ad for what was a team that did need extra three-point shooting.
I feel like the teams that win in the draft are the ones that always have multiple first-round picks because they're able to select more talented players. But I had two teams that we haven't mentioned yet that I thought won. I thought Detroit won with Ron Holland.
I don't know. I had them in my losers, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
I like Ron Holland. They have no spacing on that team.
Good luck, Fred Vinson.
Fred Vinson, shooting coach for the Pelicans. He is a miracle worker. He's going to need to. I think Ron Holland, even though he needs to improve his jump shot, I don't think Ron Holland's jump shot is broke. It's not broke. It's not Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
Yeah,
you can teach him how to shoot.
Yeah,
but
it's got a long ways to go.
Asar, just the lack of spacing on the wing is.
They have $65 million in cap space.
They could go get someone, but who wants to go to Detroit right now?
You got to overpay. You got to overpay.
You think Jeremy Grant wanted to go to Portland?
Play with Dame.
Play with Cade.
You got to overpay at the end of the day if you're a team like Detroit. But
you understand what I'm saying? Like, I believe that Ron Holland is a good prospect. Yeah. I think he went to the worst situation for him.
Possibly. But the thing with Ron Holland is that I feel as if he's a talented enough player to where it doesn't really matter if you didn't draft or fit if you're at Detroit. Because you can use a two-way wing like him and just like another good NBA player, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. And I think he has the upside to be the best player in this draft. And then the Suns getting Ryan Dunn. They have a defender now, somebody who can guard at the point of attack. And, that's all they need right now from somebody. I was mad that they traded back and they didn't take Day'Ron Holmes. Yeah. But when you think about it, it's like, what do you need more? Do you need a rim protector, a rim runner, or do you need just a point of attack defender?
A Jaden McDaniels.
And right now, yeah, you could say so.
Thanks.
Right now, you need somebody that can just stop an opposing offensive player from getting to the rim and getting into the lane freely.
I'm with you.
And I think that's Ryan Dunn. I thought that was a great pick from them.
The fact they were able to trade back and still get probably the guy that they wanted, that was a huge one for the Suns.
Now, let me ask you, Riv, you think the Timberwolves, they're not winners, they're not losers. The reasoning you use for it, though, is because of the pressure.
Yes.
You think pressure is a bad thing?
No. I think it could also be a good thing.
Because I feel like when it comes to NBA players in general, we're always measuring them up to the standard of what they can contribute to a winning team. I know that if Rob Dillingham went to the Spurs or if he went to the Wizards, he would have a green light. His numbers would be better. But I think if he averages 7 points for the Timberwolves, but he does it on good efficiency and just brings them a spark off the bench, that's a great rookie season for him.
Like a Cason Wallace type situation?
Exactly like that.
Cason Wallace could defend.
Well, I think what you mean
that's my fear with Rob.
I know that's your fear, but this is why I'm happy about this landing spot. Minnesota is a team that they have built up good habits. Rob Dillingham, he might not be able to guard because he's limited in the size, but what he's going to do is he's going to show effort, especially in Minnesota. He's going to show heart. He's going to show effort. And on top of that, Mike Conley's a veteran that any point guard coming in would love to learn from. Dillingham gets to learn behind him while he's able to work out his body, get stronger for years in the future. I feel like, if anything, it's a blessing he went to a situation like Minnesota because he's going to see firsthand what it takes to compete at the highest of high levels. Yeah. And he's going to groom and prepare and train himself for that every offseason moving forward.
You're thinking of probably the best case scenario.
He's a star.
Okay.
He's a star.
I mean, I like the fit a lot. He's playing alongside 3 All-NBA defenders. I mean, you look at Rob Dillingham, the shot creation and playmaking from the perimeter is surely there. But the question was, how could he fill into like a playoff team's rotation at 160 pounds?
Rookies don't play much in the playoffs.
And what he reminds me of as a rookie
Rookies that size?
Maybe
played off the floor.
Offensively?
Being 6'1" in today's NBA is not a big deal.
Being 6'1", 160, and you're not an offensive engine is a big deal.
But he still can spot up and still be a great shooter.
We've seen guys like him on playoff teams in the past, like Bones Highland, the Nuggets, couldn't really play in the playoffs.
Bones Highland was ass.
I mean, his rookie year, he averaged 10 points a game and shot 37% from three on a team that
Bones
desperately
Highlands was
needed
good.
that shot creation.
I think that's
Funny,
fair.
he was
I think
good on
that's
that Nugget
fair.
team. And another guy is Emmanuel Quickly, who also
Bones Highlands
much
is
better
also
defender.
bigger than.
Is Bones even in the league now?
Yeah,
He's on the
Talk
Clippers.
about him as a rookie, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other player is
this was a
Quickly
top 10
offensively
pick.
on that 2021 Knicks team.
Bones
So
was a
there's
second
guys
rounder. Am I
that-
bugging?
Yeah, he's
Bones was also in
late
a
first.
lot much more difficult
26.
draft.
He might have
Okay.
been the 27, 26 pick.
And he wasn't a freshman. Bones was like a sophomore, junior.
Listen, I understand. I think those concerns are valid, John, because you look at those miniature guards, and you could draw a correlation between them and Rob Dillingham. I just believe that Rob Dillingham's scoring juice is just much more than theirs, and
I agree.
I do think that Rob Dillingham will be able to
26.
fill out his body and just understand what it takes to win at the highest level. Now, could he be a star? Yes. Could I see a range of outcomes where he is one of those players you mentioned? I could absolutely see it. But I'm banking on his tools and his traits, and I think he's a game changer.
His floor is like a better version of Bones Highland, which is pretty high. What he reminds me of is maybe a less explosive Kobe White. Maybe Garland, the score purely, but not quite the passer. I mean, he's one of my top 7 players in this draft class. I'm just saying I think he needed to go to a place like Minnesota in order to really play in that playoff setting.
You definitely have to learn it. It's just going to be tricky to see how much is he going to be in the rotation first couple years. How is he going to manage to be? Because playing on teams like this, you get that experience firsthand. You know, sometimes players shrivel in the moment. Sometimes players don't. I know we don't like to look at the NCAA tournament, but in his first moment, he shriveled up. So
It was one game.
No, for sure. In the playoffs, it only takes one game for you not to play anymore as a rookie.
I won't be a prisoner of that for the idea that last year I was very critical of Brandon because every game he played, he was terrible.
In the tournament?
Correct. But he ended up being one of the best rookies this season.
The thing with Dillingham,
That's a team with no expectations.
Fair enough.
he just needs to fill the role that Monte Morris and Jordan McLaughlin filled last season.
You know what, though? I understand your point now. Team with no expectations. Brandon went in there, was amazing.
gets to make mistakes.
We don't knock him for that at all, that he's on a bad team but played well. Obviously, that makes him great in everyone's eyes. But for Rob, he's going to a team that has WCF expectations, finals expectations, and apparently it's going to be immediate.
The
He's
margin of
getting
error is
meaningful
just so
minutes
small.
off rip. So there's going to be real pressure. And the first time we've seen him in a high leverage, high pressure situation, he did fumble. What I do respect, though, was that he was willing to go out shooting. Reed Shepard, I was very critical on both Rob and Reed because in that game, both of them played shitty. Yeah. But Reed wasn't actively trying to shoot them out of the game or shoot them into the game. He was just straight up passing up the ball and not even giving it an attempt. At least Rob was willing to go out on his sword.
I think that's a fair criticism. Where I draw the line is I don't think he's under a lot of pressure this year. I think he probably will play in
2 first-round picks.
He'll play in high pressure games in year 3 and 4. If we're not talking about Rob Dillingham as the full-time starter for Minnesota and averaging like 16 or more,
40 years old then.
I think that right there is a problem. But as a rookie, he needs to play 15 minutes and be meaningful.
Did Cason Wallace have pressure on him in this playoffs?
No.
I would say yes. He went 1 for 7 in Game 6 and was one of the reasons they lost.
Right? I know, but he didn't have no pressure.
I feel like if you're in a rotation, you're in a playoff rotation, you have pressure. It could be little, could be big, but it's pressure there.
But it's different between playing at Kentucky where you're the main guy. You know, like there's so many guys in front of him that
Cason was the exact same thing like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Cason was the exact same thing. The guy
was worse too,
and yes, a lot worse.
Yeah, but you understand how the pressure's different because the pressure in that playoff game in Kentucky. He was handling the ball. He was the guy.
It's different.
So was Cason.
Cason Wallace's pressure in the playoffs. I mean, those were open spot-up shots. He was not handling the ball like that. Rob Dillingham, I don't think is going to be tasked with a high responsibility to break down a defense consistently in the playoffs.
Probably the same as Cason. Just hit these open shots when you get in. Mm-hmm. Try to play defense. Don't fuck up these 15 minutes while you're at.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think were the draft losers?
Oh, for me, it's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Easily.
You drafted, and I love both the guys they picked. That's what's the sad part about it. I love Tyler Smith's potential, and I'm a big A.J. Johnson guy. The reason why you're losers is because you drafted 2 guys that are projects and won't help you until like 3-4 years down the road. With Giannis is probably going to be like 33 years old, and he might not even be there in 3-4 years. You should have went for, and I don't remember who's on the board, but
Ryan Dunn was easily.
You should have went for
immediate
impact players, guys that can help you right now, some athleticism, guys that can defend, hit
Duran
the 3-point shot. Yeah, the only reason Ryan Dunn, I wouldn't like him in Milwaukee is because it's not enough spacing. You already got Giannis down there. You want him down there by himself. You know, Brook Lopez is a hit or miss. You still got Dame, of course, but you still have. I get Ryan Dunn's defense, but offensively, he's such a black hole. I think for Milwaukee, you do need 3-point shooting extremely bad. And you got two guys who probably aren't going to play at all this year. They're probably going to play in the G League. So for me, I just felt like they could have went a different direction. My second loser wasn't the Detroit Pistons. It was Cade. Because I think he just watched the draft where they got nobody. Let me not say nobody because I did see them get Cam Spencer, but I don't know if they trade him or not. But essentially, they got nobody that can help his game this year. And free agency is coming up. They do have $65 million, but you mentioned it. Who wants to go to Detroit after that shit show they had? Now you've had back-to-back years, probably the last 3, of drafting players that don't fit Cade's game. They just don't. So for me, I just feel like Cade. Watching Scotty get paid, Evan Mobley's probably gonna get a bag, Sengun's probably gonna get a bag. You're watching these guys in your class, and you probably feel like you're the best in the class, but unfortunately, you can't really show it, or you can't really be the best you can be because you're not in a position to succeed because Detroit continues to make these bad decisions. Now, I love Ron Holland as a prospect. I think he's the best player in the draft. I just would have preferred different situations for him, but we're here. Nonetheless,
You wouldn't argue that the Pistons just need the most talent they could get.
Well,
but sometimes you need talent that has to have some sense.
Because between Dalton Connect and Ron Holland, you would have went Dalton Connect because
At
Connect was
5?
better fit.
Yeah, I would have went Dalton.
the tough part is I love Holland as well. If they didn't take Asor Thompson last year, I'd really like the pick. But it's the factor stacking both of those guys and Fred Vincent's played. I think you can only fix one of their jump shots. Maybe. We saw what he did with Herbert Jones.
Clinton was also on the board.
I would have not taken a center if I'm the Pistons.
Why?
Because you already have them. You have Jalen Duren, my friend.
So just Jalen Duren?
Jalen Duren's an
Isaiah
awful
Stewart.
defender.
He is very
He's
bad.
20 years old, but
But he's a terrible defender.
So let me ask
most
you a
20-year-olds
question.
are terrible defenders at center.
Another loser for me.
Not Derek Lively.
I mean, it's also tougher to say
Not
that
Walker
when
Kessler.
you're comparing a team that has Luka Doncic and Kyrie
All right,
Irving
Walker
versus a team
Kessler.
that
That's a great
Not
example.
on
of the
defense.
worst.
He's talking about defense.
Walker Kessler was a better
Kessler's
defender.
one of
than
the best
Kessler.
defensive prospects I've seen.
Mark Williams in his first year was an excellent defender.
Excellent.
You're naming defensive bigs.
That's all I'm
Jalen
doing.
Duren is not a defensive big.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but he's not a
that's the
good.
whole
We're
point.
just saying he's not a good.
That's
No,
the
defender.
I
whole
agree
point.
with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. He's not.
Like,
Not
he's
right
an
now.
He's got a
awful
long ways.
defender.
He's got a long ways to go. I agree. But I mean, most 20-year-olds are not good.
Because I was going to say, are we going to pair that
center
with
position.
me? Because I'm going to say the Hornets are also losers.
They are a loser for me.
So if me are saying at pick 6, Donovan Clingan was right there for him. Am I wrong for saying that even though they have Mark Williams?
Well, you're very high on Mark Williams.
I do believe Mark Williams is great, but
I
also
don't think you double down on the center in the top 6.
you need interior. You need an interior presence. Or
You
at
just
the
said
wi-
Mark Williams
No,
next to the
no,
defenders,
no,
right?
Mataz Buzelis. No, Donovan
Mataz was
Clingan.
basically like pick and Ron. Both of them haven't shown you any shooting. If you was gonna pick the best one out the two, you pick Ron.
But Ron wasn't available.
Oh wait, I thought we talking about Detroit.
No. Detroit. I'm here with
You're talking
Detroit saying
Charlotte.
yes. I'm talking about Charlotte now.
Pardon me.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you had Klingon on the board. You had Mataz. It's like these are guys that probably are better than Saluan, however you want to
Dolan
fucking say
Connect's
it.
better as a prospect,
Okay, sure.
yeah.
If you want to even say Dolan Connect because they needed more shooting. These are all strong arguments as to why I would say the Hornets are also losers. But for the Pistons, you have Cade Cunningham. This is the only guy that I feel comfortable on the Pistons saying I am okay with having him on my team for years to come. And you have done nothing for a good amount of seasons to put players around him that benefit his game, like Riv just said. And Ron Holland, although I do believe you could argue he was a top 2, top 3 prospect in this draft, he does not fit Cade Cunningham because you have Asar Thompson. Now you bring in Ron Holland. Jalen Duren's another not floor spacer. This is a team that is very congested. And Cade Cunningham can only do so much with the basketball in his hands, especially if he's trying to get downhill, and now he's meeting at the rim with 2-3 guys.
The thing with Detroit, though, is I actually think Cade and Ron Holland work well together. Holland's an amazing play finisher. He's got a long way to go as a decision maker, and Cade can make the majority of those decisions and actions. It's just the supporting cast. The Pistons starting lineup, the second best shooter, Cade's best kickout option is Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
Who's a career 33% three-point shooter. And you're playing at the center at all times. So oftentimes you're going to have 3 relative non-shooters on the floor alongside Cade. Who's he going to have to kick out to? Just Jaden Ivey. So they've got some cap space,
Can't
which
forget
is
about
nice.
QG.
Quinn Grimes, the rumor to trade him.
I know.
So
I
there's
think
literally
they end
nothing.
up keeping him. He's
He's at
shown that he can shoot
Absolutely.
in his career.
I would
He
need
just
to
had a
keep
bad
him.
year. He had a really bad year
You gotta
shooting.
keep
And he missed a lot of
something,
time. I'm pretty sure. And I just think if you didn't have a Sore, this would be a great landing spot for Ron. But there's too many developmental projects there, and also it's a new front office relative to last year as well, right? Troy Weaver's no longer there, so I think them making this Ron Holland pick is a way of saying we don't believe in Azor Thompson.
They're betting on the
But
shooting
some health
coach.
issues in the
And they're betting on their shooting coach teaching these great elite level athletes to shoot the ball.
Say
Yeah.
Asar
at
was-
average levels.
Wait,
they just
why
need to
don't
get to
why
35%.
taking Ron would assume they don't believe in Asar?
Because they're very similar players. They are a different front office.
You can have
They're
multiple
not- they're-
wings, though.
they're
Multiple
complete
wings is
opposite-
the new trend
they're
of the
complete opposite
NBA.
players.
I mean, there's similar styles, similar archetypes, similar deficiencies.
I mean, I think Asar could play
He
anywhere
can play
from
the 2 to 4. Yeah,
What are you talking about? Which player?
Asar can play the 2 to 3 and the 4.
Sure, but just altogether offensively, I think their weaknesses are offensive.
Let me say this, John,
And athletically,
before
they're very
any
similar.
other comments made at you coming at your neck for this. It's okay to stack wings. In today's league, multiple wings is what wins you games and brings you closer to a championship.
I just
You
don't,
need
'cause they
some
don't have
ready-made wins. You can't just draft
But
complete
this is
projects every single year.
not necessarily. Jalen Brown was not ready immediately.
It's not a team that develops players like
Asar
the Boston
Thompson
Celtics.
is a bit of a
Jalen Brown
project,
was a
but
project, and he ended up becoming an All-NBA
Jason Tatum
player.
was a ready-made NBA player, and the Boston
That's
Celtics.
different.
We're comparing the Boston Celtics player development style to the Detroit Pistons. Pretty big discrepancy.
I
there,
agree
if
with
you
that.
ask
I just
me.
I mean,
don't
Asar
under-
Thompson is a double guy already, though.
got
Even
long
without
He's already
shooting,
an
he has
All-NBA defender.
He has so many things he
I
does
think
at a
so,
high
yeah.
level.
I don't know
Because
if-
you
I
could
don't
you
know.
could play Cade, Ron Holland, and Asar in the same lineup. Right now, I think
They're
you
going to
can.
have to.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a team that can just get out and run. It's just when you get into the half court, now it really becomes
I
stagnant.
love
and
the
I
transition
worry.
off.
We just have to see what they do in free agency, because if they add some at least solid NBA players to fill out the
Tobias?
spacing void, Tobias Harris.
That's
No,
honestly,
just
it's the only one
snipers.
that comes out
just
of mind.
snipers, like
You
Gary
need a-
Harris type players.
Tobias
I'm gonna
Harris
be
is a
honest.
reluctant,
gonna
slow,
throw up.
old shooter.
Who's
I'd rather
the
get
best
someone-
player that the Pistons can get this offseason?
KCP.
Would he go?
For the very price, he might.
Throw him
We
a
saw
bag.
Bruce Brown go.
If they throw him $20 million, he might go.
He
He
went to the
would go.
Pacers. They had something brewing.
Yeah.
Pistons have nothing.
I understand the
Just
fit
Cade and
argument.
vibes.
I understand the fit argument when you feel like you're ready to compete now, and you also have like a ready-made superstar player, like Victor Wembanyama, for example. I
You gotta
think
throw shade at Cade.
it's
Get ready.
not shade at Cade.
You're already under Cade allegations.
The Pistons need everything.
Except
It's
star.
point guard.
Like, yes, we know they need shooting too,
Yes.
but
They need defense.
They need defense. They need
Another
Shockers.
playmaker.
somebody who
They
can
need rim
attack.
protection.
They need somebody who can handle the ball.
And a coach.
They need everything to where, it's all right if you take a swing on a guy who could be the best player in the class. It's all right to me.
I don't see them having a solidified 2, 3, 4. So I wouldn't say he's taking Asar's spot, because you don't. The only solidified positions, and the Duran is not even solidified at the 5 at the moment. It's really just Cade. Ivy done lost his spot, got his spot, lost his spot. Asar had a spot, lost his spot, got a spot, lost his spot again. So it's like there isn't no. Everybody's still gunning for a position outside of Cade.
Well, I think if we talked about the worst pick of them all, it was probably Ivy, because Ivy at the time didn't fit that well.
But he was so good his rookie year. when
Ivy,
Cade went down.
people
Before they
were
drafted
having
Sore.
aneurysms over the idea that they got pick 5 and the Kings got pick 4, and are they going to have to trade up one spot to get Ivy, because it just made so much sense.
And they took Egan.
Because looking at it, he was probably the best pick at the time, but Mathurin, Shaden Sharp all went after
The only
him.
player they would say is
It would've been
Jalen
Keegan.
Williams.
It's Jalen Williams is the only guy that's like, okay,
should've
No one
traded up
had
for
Jalen
Keegan,
Williams in the
probably.
top 8.
we could have
top
drafted
10.
him. Yeah,
Keegan
Jalen
was
Williams
4,
is
right?
Very
complete
few mock
surprise.
drafts.
Keegan was 4, right?
Yeah,
Keegan
Keegan
was
did.
four.
That was probably
Can
the guy
I
they should.
ask-
They would have had him. We're talking.
Can I ask you guys a question? Are we calling the Atlanta Hawks losers last night?
Wouldn't say they're winners. They traded AJ Griffin, man.
Let me also follow up by saying, are we watching one of the greater fall-offs of recent memory with the Atlanta Hawks?
They were never up.
ECF a couple years ago, Trae Young
There were 2
has
games in the finals.
They were always mid.
When Giannis got hurt, a lot of people thought that, and I thought they could have won.
The Hawks have always been a team that is a first round exit. Maybe
fun.
they could go a little bit further. They've always been mid. For
So
my
you're-
entire life, they've been mid.
But they've always had a ton of potential. The first overall pick, a lot of upside
Remember
with
Josh
that.
Smith days?
See, but then you trade for DeJounte Murray. Now there's expectation even more so. That obviously hasn't panned out. You get pick 1 by a miracle of God. You don't even get what seems to be the consensus number
You
1
take a player
overall
at the lower
pick in
ceiling
Alex
than
Sarr.
A very low ceiling.
To me, it just doesn't seem like things are aligning with the Hawks.
They have an incompetent franchise. Incompetent front
Like
office.
very quietly, they're starting to group in with I don't want to be this
What's saving him is Trae
disrespectful.
Young.
He's their
Shout out to
only
Trae, yeah.
hope.
He's their
But similarly
saving
with he's their only saving grace. Thank you. But at the same time, I don't want to go as far to say I'm grouping them with the Nets and the Bulls, but it's trending in that direction for me. It really is.
Why those teams?
Those were teams that were middling for so long, never really made a move, sat on their hands for way too long, and we saw how it transpired. Nets are good in the clear now. They're no longer in this conversation because Sean Marks put on a masterclass a couple days ago. But the Bulls have sat in their hands so long with Zach LaVine, who really had a lot of stock or had a lot of hype around him when he was playing high-level ball. And then he started to get injured. Then we saw Lonzo Ball get injured. Then you had a great ass in Caruso. You failed to dish that out properly. They've handled just their series of moves so poorly and so incorrectly.
I think the Hawks were losers. Not only because they took Zachary Reese, but because they got unlucky. Sometimes you lose just because you're unlucky. And I understand that Alex Sarr is viewed as the best player in this draft. This draft was weak. This was the worst draft in the last 10 years, arguably, or I could even go maybe 5+ years, to have the first overall pick. The Hawks got, quote unquote, lucky with the first pick at the worst time. That's just what happened. If they had the first pick last year, Trae Young, Victor Wembanyama, we're throwing a party for them. If they had it the year before with Paolo Banchero, we're throwing a party for them. Alex Sarr, even if they took him,
he's a great prospect.
Trae Young could have been on the way out anyway.
I don't think Alex Sarr is a great prospect.
He is a great prospect.
He's a really
Trae Young and Paolo would have been
for a number one prospect. He's also the worst.
He's an unbelievable,
He's like
versatile defender.
MVP.
Yeah, I agree.
Can still extend a little bit. Not an amazing three-point shooter.
He doesn't have
shooter.
superstar potential.
Who?
Alex Sarr.
Okay.
He's not a great prospect.
How many?
He's a good prospect, a really good one, but he's not worth a number one.
How many
Alex Sarr's pretty damn great.
Picks are superstars right now.
Well, I think there's
Superstar
a lot more
potential, a lot of them.
There's a lot more things in Alex Sarr's game which you'd have to develop.
And I'll also say this. I don't want to hear the excuse that Alex Sarr didn't try out for them or didn't work out with them, because Paolo Banchero did not work out with the Orlando Magic, and obviously that has been a perfect... Mobley's another one that did not work out for his team either.
If Evan Mobley was the first... If he was in his draft, he'd be the first overall pick.
Easily.
Okay.
Not a thought.
I agree.
Like, with no question. I think Jabari
consensus.
Smith would have been the first overall pick in this draft, no question either.
Yeah.
Alex Sarr's pretty great, dude. He was a pretty great prospect.
I think Jaden Ivey could have been the first overall pick in this draft.
I disagree with that.
They're like, this draft
The defensive versatility for his size,
I agree with
honestly,
you.
that's
He can do
really
a lot of
what
different
it
things
is.
defensively, but
In scoring, he's
offensively,
really not that bad.
Alex Sarr is a blank canvas. He's got some rough hands. He's not the best finisher. There's
can't
different parts
shoot.
of his game.
He
where
could,
really
for being
needs to
seven
develop
feet
a lot.
tall, he can
shoots
shoot.
24% from three.
Okay, I mean, still,
It's
18,
something that he
19
does. He
years
takes
old.
attempts.
He
but
can't
there's
the
shoot.
form's
Played against
fine.
grown
You can
men.
get
There's a
better.
long way to go for him.
He was
is what we're
playing
saying.
against professionals.
That's true. He's playing one of the best teams and behind one of the best centers as well in the league. I think for Atlanta, the toughest thing is just the fact that they've had a lot of different top 5 picks, but they've always settled for guys with lower upside. 2019, they get the 4th overall pick. They move up to get it. They take DeAndre Hunter, who's a very average starting small forward. They take a Swin and Cam Reddish. This didn't pan out. And then 2020, they take Onyeka Okongwu with the 6th overall pick. He's been a decent, good backup center, but he's not really someone who's ever elevated into a starter. 2021 was their one really damn good pick. You get Jalen Johnson out of the lottery. That was amazing value. He's developed quite well. It's just tough for Atlanta because Zachary Reese-Shea to me has a very high floor. And I think they want to get a shooter and someone that's got some pretty good defensive upside. Not the most length, but he can really move his feet on the perimeter, be an on-ball defender. Probably not the main on-ball defender, though, in a defense.
Guess what Wemby
And
shot over in France?
Zach?
No, Wemby.
What did he shoot?
27.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you look at the difficulty of Victor Wembanyama shot attempts in offense where he's getting the entire keys.
He is.
And the volume.
All I'm
it's a lot
saying is
different.
25 threes a game. That is a good amount. But at the same time,
Yeah.
he wasn't this refined shooter. You just saw the form and knew that obviously.
Well,
he could
Well, what
play.
I'm saying
Alex
is the
Sarr-
fact
I'm not
is-
saying Sarr is Wemby. Let's clear that
He's
up.
taking spot
I'm just saying
shots.
bad stats. We still believed in the
It's not an
prospect.
excuse,
Well,
though. You gotta use the
this is the thing.
context.
This is the thing is that even
I mean, the form is fine. It doesn't have a
It's
clunky,
fine.
janky
No,
jump
I
shot.
think
Taking
Alex
catch and shoot
Sarr-
looks. Wemby's taking crazy pull-ups over 2
listen, I think Alex Sarr
I don't
is
disagree at all.
solid. He's a solid pick, right? He's not a first overall pick. There was no real bona fide first overall pick in this draft, and I think that's the point. The Hawks got the first overall pick in the worst draft to have the first overall pick.
I don't know, man. I really don't think Sarr's that bad.
He's
Like
not,
if next year,
he's a really good prospect. He's
Alex
a
Sarr-
low level number 1.
Alex
You
Sarr
want to
went
go
to the
top
Wizards.
5, you're saying?
I'm going to go top 5 next year.
Alex Sarr went to the Wizards. The Wizards are not banking on him to be the face of their franchise. They're banking on that pick they're going to get next year to be the face. That's going to be the guy. And it doesn't matter if they pick within anywhere in the top 5. And it's if they go Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, one of those guys are going to be the guy. Dylan Harper, they're going to be the guy. It's not going to be Alex Sarr.
I don't know,
because
man.
this
You
draft
gotta get lucky, though. You got to get lucky.
You do. And the Hawks, they got the first overall pick in a draft where everybody's like, it could be like 4 guys, and no guy really stands out. I think that's why they're losers. And we talked about fit a lot this episode, and that's why I had the Spurs as losers too, drafting Stephon Castle. 27% on catch and shoot threes. The Spurs get a great reputation for drafting because the majority of the history has been drafting very well. Their last four first rounders, Jeremy Sohan, Malachi Branham, Blake Wesley, Josh Primo. Maybe they go 1 for 4 with Jeremy Sohan.
What round was Presley? Or
Blake Wesley was first round. It was
round, like
pick
21,
25.
He was in the 20s.
He's in the early 20s.
If
Malachi Branham
honestly,
in that class.
anything from, let's say 20 on.
They used to get Derek White in those spots.
Kellen Johnson,
They used to get DeJounte Murray in those spots.
Just had
But
some
they,
great
like you
late
just
first round
mentioned,
picks.
Jeremy Shohan's been a good pick. We obviously can't count Wemby. We'll see what happens with Stephon Castle. But Stephon Castle defensively, versatility wise, that's an excellent selection for them.
I think he is a good connector, but
The shooting
what
is
if
the problem.
what if he's Otskakuro?
I don't think so. I think he
He's
can
already-
dribble.
he's
He can
already
dribble the
impactful.
basketball.
Way
Offensive
more.
player. A lot more.
I was
feel,
speaking about
drive,
simply
and
just
create.
impact on a game,
Well, he does a lot
like
more.
for the Spurs.
That would be
He
the
can
floor.
do a
They would
lot
fail.
more
They
on
would have failed
offense.
at that point.
I think for San Antonio it's tough because one of the best shooting coaches in the NBA chip, Englund, left in 2022 to go to Oklahoma City. So you're seeing guys like Kellen Johnson develop as shooters, DeJounte Murray as well. But with a guy like him gone, can you develop Jeremy Shohan and also their most recent first round pick? It's tough when you have multiple relative non-shooters that are pretty big projects. That's where you like to have a guy like Englund still here.
The worst pick to me there by far and away, Josh Primo. I mean, we can obviously get that out the way. But we've already saw Stephon Castle at UConn play off ball and still be successful.
Yeah.
If I told you, hey, we drafted Marcus Smart pick 4, like you're happy. If you drafted Marcus Smart and you're the Spurs, you're happy.
In this class, yeah.
It depends.
That's what I mean.
Marcus Smart didn't
like the Marcus
become
Smart comparison.
known as a great pick until they started getting way better talent around him.
But they have Wemby. Devin Vassell is a very good piece. That's still a good
Marcus
selection.
Smart had some high expectations, which played a role in that.
And he became a good shooter. Stephon Castle's still a wait and see. But you look
Good
at
free throw shooter, just a bad jump shooter.
Right.
Their
And we
last-
see guys like Drew Holiday in the draft.
Yeah.
They were shooting 27% as freshmen too, and they can develop that in the right
See,
situation.
like
They
I'm not
can.
even going as far to say Drew Holiday. I feel like that's the extreme sense. I'm just saying like a happy medium.
Well, that's an
Their
example
last 4
of a
first
guard who
rounders,
shot
like I
27%
mentioned,
from 3.
it's 1 for 4 as of now. Jeremy Sohan is the guy we're putting in there as like a win. If Jeremy Sohan is not a starter in 3 years, are you surprised?
No, I would not be surprised.
With him now.
No, I wouldn't be. But I feel like that also goes hand in hand with Spurs are getting better. Now they're becoming maybe a little bit more
What if
of a
next year they get Cooper Flag? He's definitely not a starter.
yeah.
They have to be terrible, I think, the Spurs for like 2 more years to
Are
get
they going to be
good
ass
team
next
around
season?
Wemby.
I have a hard time
Nah.
seeing that because
If they're gonna
Victor's
have
going to be a
cap
top 10
space-
player this time next year.
And two,
It's
you
not
can't
even wrong.
be. If Victor's that good, no way you can be ass in 2 more
I'm
years.
saying they
Yeah.
should.
It's going to be
to
tough,
me,
last
man.
4 years.
It's going to be tough.
One more year.
I'm with you for
if
a year.
it's one more year of time, I'm
This year,
giving
go
one
for
more
it.
year.
Joel,
I'm
you
fine
thought they
with
would
that.
make the play in this year.
If
That's
they
why
get,
I
if
say
they-
that also.
1 more year is fine if they get a guy like Cooper Flag or one of those top
Yeah, just
three
one,
guys.
and then they got
Yeah.
money. Just
After
one more.
that,
Just
2
one.
more.
Two is
But what if
crazy.
they get
By
the
the
4th
time Victor's
overall
going
pick and
years,
they don't
they're
get
still
any
want to
money?
be competitive.
That's still valid. 4th is still valid.
Yeah.
They need to start hitting on these picks because you need to help out Wemby. I think the best way for them is to build through the draft.
And we just had this whole conversation given the benefit
I
of
just
the
told
doubt
you
to
the last
Atlanta.
4 first rounders.
Oh yeah, I like Castle though. Man.
But who was you said Wesley, and who was the one before that?
Malachi Branham.
And that was another pick 20-something,
Yeah, those
right?
are the
No, he was
20s.
in the teens, I believe.
Late teams.
Brandon was late teens.
Yeah.
I remember we were at Sharky's for that draft.
Who's Sharkies?
Oh, he's
wing
20.
place.
He was picked 20 flat.
Again, I don't care about if you hit on 20s and later, you're lit. It's so hard.
That's how teams are built, though. That's how championship teams are built.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Anytime you
What
get a
team
rotation
recent
player at 20,
championship
you're happy.
has done that? You know what? Let me not say that. Nuggets count. That definitely counts. Jokic was a miracle though, and Michael Porter Jr. was a blessing.
Yeah.
Nah. They just got
Michael
lucky
Porter
he
was a
fell.
blessing. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh,
Not
yeah,
that he was
injury.
good.
The
That
talent was always
that the
there.
talent that he got
It
hurt.
would have been an easy top 5.
Well,
pick
we
that
knew he
year.
was great.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Warriors were the Warriors. Bucks, Giannis, and I guess that's again. I can't say it's too lucky because Giannis was top 15. Middleton was the
15,
second round
literally.
pick.
They acquired that second rounder after a year in Detroit.
A lot of building around that. What name another guy? They traded for Drew Holiday. That's really what put them over the hump. The Cavaliers.
What exactly are we talking about? Teams
Who
that hit on
Cavaliers who?
picks in the 20s?
Just I'm going over champions off the top of my head that really haven't really had the middling picks.
I'm thinking about successful teams just because champions, we could go into that rabbit hole, but I think successful teams should be the bar. I think the Pacers are a perfect example of that.
Great drafting.
Aaron Neesmith, you
didn't
traded
draft
him
him,
for the
but
low.
Tyrese
I know.
Halliburton.
That's Nemhard in the second
They've
round.
gotten blessed
One of
with
the biggest
trades.
guys.
Nemhard is a 1.
Okay,
Hallie
Aaron
was a lottery
Neesmith.
pick.
Andrew Nemhard was a second round pick.
Andrew Nemhard, I give you that one.
Yes.
Not Miles Turner.
Isaiah Jackson.
He was a lottery pick.
He was taken outside. I
was gonna say,
right
was he?
outside. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. He
But
definitely.
also
mid-teens.
Benedict
Mid to late.
Mathurin
He was a 22nd pick.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's a good one. Mathurin was a
lottery pick.
But
You
I'm talking
got
about players who've contributed to them now.
Tyrese Halliburton, even though they
Lottery
traded for him.
The guys who
Lottery
were in their
pick.
playoff rotation: Andrew Nemhard, Ben Shepherd, Isaiah Jackson.
Ben Shepherd was second round or late first?
He was late first.
Yeah, that was a good pick.
Those three guys and Aaron Neesmith, they traded for him.
And Obi Toppin traded
Lottery
for
pick.
lottery
Obi
pick.
Toppin. Yeah, but Obi Toppin is about to leave, but they also got Obi Toppin for the low. I feel like you need to be able to hit on your players.
Like
in
what
the
really
20s.
turned Minnesota on its head? Number 1 overall, Anthony Edwards.
Jaden McDaniels was in the pick 28.
But what
Cat
changed?
Cat was a
them?
lottery pick. Ant was a
Cat
lottery
was
pick.
one.
Rudy
Ant was
Gobert,
one.
two first
Rudy
You
Gobert was
trade
pick
for-
29.
But you
he doesn't
trade
count.
for
Rudy
Rudy.
was traded.
Yeah, that's
You
not the
can't
same.
count.
I'm not
I
giving
mean-
you an excuse
Joel.
for not drafting well.
They haven't
the
drafted
Spurs
poorly.
haven't drafted well these last 4 first
I
rounds.
mean, in
Said the Spurs?
brother,
Yes.
in 2020, that guy Dylan Vassell read to the top 10, and Trey Jones, but the 41st overall pick.
Okay, let's look at the Josh Primo draft.
Pretty
How many
damn good
players
draft.
are better than him in that draft?
Probably
At
all
pick
right.
4, was he pick
It's also-
14 or pick 12?
It's also not the
I think
perfect.
14 was Duarte,
It's
or
also
maybe that
not
was
the
12.
perfect
I'm getting that
example of
mixed up.
player development because
Moody
Josh
was 14.
Josh Primo did something off the court
Primo was
that
11.
That is true.
literally
He
forfeited
didn't
any
get-
chance
he
they
didn't
could
get-
not
yeah.
develop.
Okay.
They had 1 year to.
I
Pick
don't
pick
think
number
He was a
20.
project.
In
That's not a good example.
2022, the Spurs drafted Malachi Branham. Pick 21 was Christian Brown to Denver. Pick 22 was Walker Kessler. 23 and 24 was David Roddy and Marvin Beauchamp. 25 was the Spurs. And then 26 to
Branham's
30,
better than those two guys.
Wendell Moore Jr., Nikola Jovic, Patrick Baldwin Jr.,
Those guys
Todd
are-
Todd,
none of
James
those guys
Watson.
are
It's
rotation
just
players.
Walker Kessler.
It's Walker
Andrew
Kessler.
Nemhard was the first pick in the second round.
Well, that's the second round pick, but yeah, it's just those two.
You could say they should have took Nemhard, but I mean that's just.
Kessler is a
If
a
your
bad
biggest
miss,
draft
though.
miss is Malachi Branham at pick 20, you'll be okay.
But I'm just saying, in the last four
Bigger player-
four
biggest
drafts,
player
I feel
development.
like you at
Primo
least got to
should
get a
count.
good
It
good
shouldn't,
player.
in my opinion.
Primo should not
He was a
count.
huge project they reached
Something
on.
happened. They didn't even
And
get the
they
chance
had
to
1
really
year.
figure out who
Yeah.
he was.
Exactly. I wouldn't use that as an example of.
And then
player
we're talking about
development at all.
late first round picks.
Alperen
are like-
Şengün was the pick there, though. They selected Josh Primo, and Alperen Şengün was clearly the top 3 player in the draft.
We didn't know.
I-
I didn't
yes,
say know
we
what the
did.
hell he
Yes, we
was.
did.
I
He
love
won
Şengün.
MVP over
I
in
love
Turkish
Şengün.
League.
He should
Şengün
have been top 10
was a
pick.
clear
No,
top
real
3
talk.
player in the draft.
He should have been
Şengün,
top 10. He said
easily
top 3.
10. Yeah, it's rich.
No, I said he was the top 3 player in the draft.
He is
I mean,
now. Yeah.
I mean, get him now.
I
That's
would-
a top-
Is he
At
still
that
top
point in
3
time-
now? It's
Yes.
Cade, it's
Yes.
Evan, and Scotty.
He's better than Evan Mobley, in my opinion. But that's, depends what you want.
That's an argument,
Right.
but
Shoot,
all right,
Şengün has
different
argument
players.
over
I see
all
it.
those guys.
Some
Over
teams take
Scotty?
Evan, some
Yes.
teams take Alpi.
He has no.
Over Scotty.
Yes.
But-
Over Cade.
No.
Yes.
Team, sure. No.
Big case.
No.
Yes,
No.
he does.
He's better than Franz.
Sure. Yes.
Yes, he is.
Franz 3-point shot.
Alperen Şengün is a great player.
He
You only
is,
go from here, man.
he is a great player.
But yeah, all I'm saying is Spurs got to draft a
Top
little
3
bit
is still
better.
debatable. I'll be honest with you. It depends on how hard you're going to go for Scotty. I'm not going to go
He's
hard
better
for
than
him.
Jalen Green.
Şengün?
Just kidding.
Come on. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Jalen Green. March was special.
We had a couple draft day trades happen. Minnesota and the Spurs.
Yes.
What do you grade this trade?
So I did give Minnesota an A-. I gave the Spurs a B. I say that because if you were the Spurs, Moore would have been great, given the fact that Dillingham would have provided you offense. Not a great playmaker, obviously, but obviously could work towards that and playing along Wemby. Obviously, that just would have came naturally. But I give Minnesota the A- for the fact of, like you already alluded to earlier on when you talked about why Minnesota were winners. You couldn't get somebody in free agency because you didn't have the money to, but you go and you trade draft capital that is going to be in the next decade that you don't have to worry about for a while. And you get a player that can help you in your biggest need, which is offense. They get an A- from me. I don't give them a full A or an A+ for the fact of I'm not the highest on Rob Dillingham, but I give the Spurs a B because they get 2 future first-round picks for pick 8, and a draft class that was already not that hyped up. Right. You get a fully unprotected pick in 31.
With and the pick swap in 2030.
I was going to say, and as long as Minnesota does not get the number 1 overall pick, you're going to be in a good position to have that selection also.
I thought this was a big win-win. As you mentioned, for Minnesota, they had to do something like this for financial purposes. And you give up 1 first-round pick in 7 years, but with Anthony Edwards, you don't think there's a ton of disaster potential with that selection. And for San Antonio side of things, they took Stephon Castle with the 4th overall pick and said themselves, this is a franchise pillar at the guard spot in the backcourt. We don't want another guard from this draft. So I like them getting assets because, hey, in Victor Wembanyama's 8th season, they're going to get a nice second first-round pick in that year to add stuff to that rotation. And maybe that pick swap does amount to something. So I thought it was maybe they got a tiny bit more value, but a good trade for San Antonio.
Needed the Spurs to get Klingon, though. I needed it terribly.
I think the
Klingon
Timberwolves
is so crazy,
awesome.
bro. What's wrong with you?
I would have loved it.
It's 2 7-foot demons.
Yo, because they can pass. Both can pass.
Defensively, it would have been disgusting.
Defensively would have been insane.
Clinton can't jump, but he can be that stand-up rim protector. Wemby rotating and being a nightmare.
I gave Minnesota. Let me start with the Spurs. I give the Spurs a B.
Yep, that's my grade.
I give the Spurs a B because I think
like
at that point you picked Castle at 4.
They weren't listening when I gave him a B.
It made no sense to take Rob after you had already picked Castle. So why not go fish out, get some assets, see what you can do. You got a little nice little 2 first round, little smooth. Something protections aren't crazy. Cool. So I like that. For Minnesota, I'll give him like a B- C+. Like it was cool.
Ooh.
Like to get Rob. It's like it's
He's
cool.
not a big Rob guy.
No, it's cool. Like if to get him. It's cool. You have Mike Conley. He's aging. You have a team that's in win now. Like you mentioned before, WCF championship aspirations. I don't know if Rob is the play now, immediate type of guy. And I think I say C+ because of more of what the GM said after they picked Rob. Like he's going to play immediately. So it's going to be interesting. The grade can definitely change. But I'll go, C+, B- for them. And then the Spurs, I'll give them a B.
Well, I think the reason why Tim Connelly says he's going to play immediately is because Monte Morris, their free agent, they can't really afford to bring him and Slow-Mo back both together. So it's just a thing of, hey, look, we're running out of rotation spots and we need guys to fill them. Dillingham almost will by default go draft pedigree. And honestly, as a playstyle element off the bench, they really badly need someone who has more juice. Mike Conley's going to be turning 37 years old next year. He doesn't give you that type of thing. He's going to bring more complimentary play. And I think long-term, Dillingham fills that role alongside Ant as a second shot creator in the perimeter.
I think the Spurs get a B. The Timberwolves, they got an A++.
Knew this was.
I gotta add the plus in there to get 2 pluses because this is an A+ move. They just secured having the best backcourt in the NBA in 2028.
You better hope Dillingham
That's what they
is John Morant.
Dillingham's not gonna be John Morant. They don't play remotely the same. But Dillingham's going to be a great player in his own right. And we're making a big deal about the weight thing. I understand 167, it's extremely frail.
I'm 185.
He's 6'2", 6'3". He could
6'1".
He could fill out.
He's 6'1".
He's 6'1" as hell.
He could still fill out. He could fill out. And we're talking about how in a playoff setting.
Brandon Jennings never filled out. That's all I'm going to say.
But Rob Dillingham, he got the type of.
Brandon Jennings was always toned.
Brandon Jennings was a 20-point game. He was really good.
Very inefficient.
That wouldn't be terrible
Not
if
your
this
model
was
of
Brandon
efficiency,
Jennings.
but that's okay.
No, it wouldn't be terrible. This is the thing. He doesn't have to be in a playoff setting to understand the physicality NBA takes because he's going to feel that in practice. You don't think Anthony Edwards is going to go at him with his mindset? He's going to go at him. He's going to call him little and small every time he scores on him. He's going to be practicing with dudes that are going to challenge him every day to continue to get better and to fill out. He's going to feel that competitiveness, not in just high-pressure games, but in practice. this is a great spot for him. I feel like it's a great spot when players go to places that are actually competitive because they're going to build up great habits. And with the potential that he has, the sky's the limit. This could be one of the best backcourts in the NBA one day. Rob Dillingham is a star. Rob Dillingham is a great player.
What if he's Lou Williams?
Hey, that's fine.
That.
That's fine.
How often is a team like Minnesota going to get into the lottery? Really,
Did Lou
not
Williams fill out ever?
He did not fill out. He was like, what, 175 pounds?
Yeah, he was nice, though.
Lou Will
at
won a
6'3".
game against the super team Golden State Warriors.
he was nice.
That's not a terrible range of outcomes.
He's not an all-star.
It's not.
He's nice.
3-time Sixth Man of the Year, man.
He's a good-ass player. Shout out to Lou Will. I don't think Lou would being Lou Will. There's nothing wrong with that, honestly.
Oh, I'm
Lou
saying
Will
that's a
Hall of
good thing. But if he's Lou Williams, it's not
Sadly.
going to be the best backcourt in the NBA.
He's in the Street Hall of Fame.
Okay.
For a purpose.
So 6 man of the year doesn't matter?
To the Hall of Fame? I don't know, to be honest.
Just wondering.
The other
got the
trades
most
were
ever.
all right. The Nuggets and the Suns traded Day'Ron Holmes for Ryan Dunn. Essentially, they swapped 22nd
That
for
was
the
awesome.
28th overall pick.
I gave the Nuggets a B+.
These are both A moves to
I was
me.
going to say I gave the Suns an A-.
It was
Yeah.
weird, though,
These
because
are
they
both
got
good.
Holmes, but they signed Zeke Naji last year to a 3-year, $21 million deal.
Zeke Naji barely in the rotation.
I was going to say,
That's literally
but
my
they don't
point.
really play the same, though. Cause
No, but that's my point. You signed him to be the backup. You gave him this money. Not a lot of money.
Not a
You
lot.
gave him this money. But now you
$7
essentially
million?
said Holmes is probably going to be the guy to take over the
most
backup
likely.
spot.
And he can shoot.
I mean,
No,
they
he's
gave
good.
Najee
Duran can
4
shoot.
years, 32, but Najee has not been able to stay healthy, and he's struggling to make shots.
Yeah, this is all
Holmes-
my point, buddy.
So you're not going to take the best player on the board by
No,
far,
no.
who has
No, okay,
the potentially
all right.
a top
But
10
that's
player
what
in this draft
I'm. No,
class
I'm
'cause
kind
you
of with him
extended
though.
Najee?
What's the
Because
issue
you
with that?
extended Najee,
Are you
you
just
are not
no,
taking Holmes?
I just think he's solely saying the Nuggets fucked up by signing Najee. That's it.
I don't
Got
care
it.
about that. That's $8 million.
That's really what it
You'll be
is.
fine.
Also,
Well, when a team is on the second damn apron,
You can
$8 million means a lot.
Going to the third year of that contract, no? You can get off of that next year.
no,
problem.
okay, probably.
It's the second year, maybe, or the third year.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
think
my whole point. I
got
never
you.
said that.
He's
I
just
don't
being
think
biased. You know you're losing KCP, right?
He declined his player option. I don't think the Zeke
I thought
Najee
the
extension
team declined
matters in
it.
this equation.
No, he did. He did.
Like for the draft pick. I don't think you can grade
no,
this draft pick because of that.
no, brother. I wasn't even doing that. You just, I don't know what happened with you. You just like started assuming I was doing that. No, I like the Deron Holmes pick.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
I was just saying it's just crazy how Zeke Naji just got a little bit of a bag for a role player, and he's probably going to be out the rotation.
The way you said it, you did say they drafted him, and it raised an eyebrow because they just signed.
Never
Zeke
even
Naji.
said that. I don't even say raise an eyebrow. So
I know, but I'm saying that's what you said essentially. You
sorry,
kind of insinuated that why would they draft Day'Ron Holmes if they just signed Zeke Naji? That's how it came out.
No.
That's what I
was
thought.
misinterpreted.
I was kind of wrong, though. It's the first year of the deal for Najee because they gave him it
I know you were
in
wrong.
year 3.
I know.
I still don't think it matters, but
I bet. I mean, you might lose KCP. So
They're losing.
Maybe
KCP.
that money
It's
would have
not a
mattered.
might.
You know,
You're losing KCP.
maybe the money would have
You
mattered.
know that?
KCP's coming back home.
So John, who's your next team going to be?
KCP's coming to Detroit.
or the draft day trades or the biggest loser.
No. Just
Your new team,
your
bro.
new team, your new NBA team.
The
next year.
Nets.
It's ironic you said that because a ton of my friends are Net fans.
What's your actual
and
team?
as a joke, I said I'm a Net fan now after the Mikal Bridges trade. I thought it was a great day for them. I've said this a million times in the show. Why do I have to repeat myself?
No, what's your actual team?
You're a Nuggets fan, but they're
You're a Phoenix
kind of
fan
going
too, right?
downwards a little bit now. So who's your new team?
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna stamp a team in this moment right
There we go.
here.
Yeah, so you didn't win before.
I've never stamped a team when it comes to Steelers fan, right? And that's the one team I dedicate my heart and soul to. But if I were to pick one NBA team for the rest of my life, I'll pick the Denver Nuggets. That has always been my favorite team.
Fucking
Although,
whack.
although it's worth mentioning, like Devin Booker was my favorite player in 2018 and 2021. So I was rooting for the Suns those years, especially in the playoffs.
You were a Suns fan.
You're a Suns.
that
You're a
year.
Suns fan. I don't know why you tried to do that. No, you're a Suns fan.
Nuggets fan.
I was invested.
Go to hell.
I definitely can maybe find a clip of you one day saying you
Go
were a
to
Suns
hell,
fan.
John.
You will find a clip of that 'cause I said
Because
that.
he used to tell me that he likes stories. So the teams that have the best stories, he tends to gravitate to those. So the Suns had a great story. The Denver Nuggets had a great story, but the Nuggets story, we're kind of on a rough
Right.
chapter.
I
right
was
now.
always a big Gallinari fan, Kate Italian, so I always liked the Nuggets and their jerseys because the powder blue jerseys were one of my favorites.
That's
so
fair.
I always rooted for them, not with Carmelo because he had been traded by that point, but I just want to make it clear so you never ask me ever again. I am a Denver Nugget fan.
We are 100% going to ask you.
So the last trade grade is
Not if I
the
stand
Wizards
for
and Blazers, the Deni Avdija trade.
Wizards get a D+ because I like Bub.
Yeah.
The Blazers get an A+.
I just don't. Why not Kuz? Why do you keep
traded your
Kuz?
best
Yeah, you
asset.
traded one of your youngest players.
You want to know what I think they said? We'd rather have Kyle Kuzma long term than Deni
And
Avdija. Which I disagree.
Kuzma's
disagree.
better. Kuzma's better than Deni Avdija.
Turn
Oh
on
my
the fucking
goodness.
thing.
We're crazy, bro.
Denny clears him. He clears him.
I wouldn't say clears, but Deni Avdija is a better, more
a better
impactful,
player.
and a more complete player.
He's a better player. I don't know what we're doing here. Kuzma's a better scorer,
Yeah.
but
Kuzma-
He's a
Kuzma,
better
you know
player.
He's getting there.
You know what? I'll say this. Kuzma's really developed as a passer, but like Deni, if he continues to grow and he's a more consistent shooter, definitely Deni long term.
It's not even a question.
This is
to me.
one of the best perimeter defenders in the game, one of the best rebounders, but one of the best off-ball players too. He's amazing in transition. He's a damn near elite finisher.
Blazers
at this
got
point.
one.
He's
You got
amazing.
caught stat watching.
Yeah.
Fake.
fair.
I'm
little bit.
sick as hell that was the price for Denny.
Dude, how many contenders would have
How many teams? Forget about just the
first round picks, maybe.
OD. I would have in no
Bro,
hesitation.
Who had the 14th pick?
The Wizards.
It was
No,
the
I'm saying,
Warriors.
how many
No, the
teams?
Blazers.
It was the Warriors, and then it got to.
Yeah,
But
how,
like
many teams,
the
how many
Heat-
teams could have did
the
that?
Heat,
The Heat would have sent what?
You know what?
Terry Rozier, and
It
pick
bothers
15.
me because I kind
Maybe
of.
they didn't want Terry Rozier.
You know what I mean, though?
They got
They wanted
Brogdon.
Malcolm.
They picked up Bub, mentor.
Here's the
But
thing,
I'm saying
Rev.
pick 15. You don't think he would have been there pick 14? Like pick 15? Bub would
I
have
don't
been.
know, to be honest.
Here's the thing, Rev.
Me.
It's not stat watching.
Oh,
It's just
that was a trolling call.
we tend to fixate on role players and overvalue them a little bit too much.
They're both role
or
players.
overrate them. I know
when
Kyle
I was
Kuzma,
when I was very
Kyle
ad-
Kuzma's a higher level role player.
when I was
Based
an
off
advocate
what?
for OG Anunoby when he was on the Raptors for years and years and years, and he gets traded to New York, and now the Knicks don't lose when he's on the team.
Denny's not OG.
I'm not saying that, but we're talking about the impact of role players.
He's in the same
That's
tier. as
OG.
He's in the same
He's
tier.
not in the same tier as
I wouldn't say he's in
I
the
wouldn't
tier.
say that.
What are we
That's a bit
talking
strong.
about?
Tier below.
That's very strong. Actually, it's not a bit. It's
Might be
very
2
strong.
tiers below.
But you understand the
Two
sentiment.
tiers is crazy.
Just
bro.
understand
As
the
a role,
sentiment
That's
there.
fucking crazy.
No, I think
I think-
OG's
listen,
no.
OG's
It's
like a top 60 player. I think.
No.
Danny's
If
top
we're talking
75.
like role player vibe, OG is like a top 10
Two.
superstar
Yeah, nah,
like
like,
type
yeah,
dude.
OD.
Denny's like top 25, top 30. You know what I'm saying?
OG is like the LeBron
You know what,
James
though?
of role
There's
players.
so many awesome role players. I still think that'd just be a 1-tier gap. If OG's the top of it, I think
Nah,
Denny's the
OG's
bottom
like a
of that
top
tier.
5 dude. Like
I agree.
he's-
I think Denny's the
I'm
top 20 role
serious.
player.
He really
that's
is.
a gap. That's like 2 gaps.
2 gaps again. I think there's so many great role players in today's
20 to
NBA,
15 is 15 spots, bro.
but there's so much depth and quality of role players around the league that I still think it would only be
Okay.
1 tier.
Let me. Okay. We're gonna put this to the test, John. Okay, because since you
We're
want to ride
not.
on
No,
your
we're
high
not
horse.
ranking role players.
No, let's do this.
No, we are. And you want
Want
to?
that.
Yeah, you better show some respect. All right. Show some goddamn respect, John.
Okay.
Why
John.
are we? Okay, whatever.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to see us rank role players?
Yes.
I would say no.
Who are you talking to?
That's fact.
Everyone listening.
We're not live.
I know. But if I am listening to the show,
He cooked.
if I'm listening to the show, I don't
They
want
wanna
to
hear
see
us
a
talk
role
about
player.
anything.
If you're listening to the show, you really fuck with basketball, so you care about
We've
role
talked about
players.
Taekwondo
Okay, John,
on here.
John,
We will talk
you're-
about it.
Ranking the top 25 role players to me?
No, we're not gonna
No.
do that. That's not what we're gonna do.
Let him cook.
Thank
Don't you let us talk.
John, you're very high on Deni Avdija. Drew, you're high on Deni Avdija too.
love
You
him.
guys can all answer these questions. Who's a better role player, this player or Deni Avdija? First name up is Derek White.
Derek White.
Derek White,
Definitely Derek White.
OG Anunoby.
OG and an OG.
OG Anunoby,
OG.
Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante.
Dante.
I would take Dante. This is close,
Yeah, it's very close.
but I would take Dante after the year he had last year.
Denny's still getting better. I would take Deni Avdija. Deni Avdija.
Real.
Josh Hart.
Denny Avdija.
Deni Avdija.
I think it's close, but I would take Deni Avdija.
The disrespect to my dogs.
I
not
love
disrespect.
Josh.
The disrespect.
I took Dante.
You know
My
what, Joel?
I took
goodness.
Dante.
I
Josh
think-
Hart was getting 15 plus rebounds in playoff games.
He was-
Sorry
put
that
up
Deni
20 and
Avdija
10
plays for
damn
the
near.
damn Wizards.
What
But
did
if-
Josh Hart average in the
listen.
playoffs? He was amazing.
I
was
think if
amazing.
Denny were on a playoff team, he would.
But he's
elevate-
not, so
he
we
would
don't know
ele-
how he's going to look.
That's not
Oh,
on him,
come
brother.
on.
He's not.
It's his fault he has to play alongside Jordan
Josh
Poole and
Hart, when he first got traded to the Portland Trailblazers, they were the #1 seed in the NBA for a week or two.
In December.
He was really good with them.
Stop.
Josh Hart's better
So
than
are the
Deni
Utah
Avdija.
Jazz.
Josh Hart's
Why
better
was
than
that
Deni
the
Avdija.
point you used?
Josh Hart's better than
Why
Deni
was
Avdija.
that the point you used?
But they were the top seed. In
Yeah, for like
December.
12 games.
It's
Wait,
because
wait,
not used
in
because
November.
Josh
In
Hart
November,
impacts
December.
winning at a high level. He
Here we go.
does.
We agree.
He's a
Sorry
better.
that Denby
He's
plays for the
a
fucking
better
Wizards.
role
That's
player
the
than the
worst team in
Wizards.
the
If Josh Hart was on the
He's a
Wizards, they
better
wouldn't be
role
doing
player
shit.
than
They
Deni
would be a worse
Avdija.
team. If Josh Hart were on the fucking Wizards, they would be a worse team.
If you
Enough said.
do you think the Knicks right now would swap Josh Hart for Deni Avdija straight
Of course
up?
not. They
Yeah.
won't because they had the
No,
Villanova
the
boys.
years,
They're not
the
doing
aura
that.
is
No, it's because
tremendous.
Josh Hart's better.
I
That's
mean, maybe.
also
We
why.
don't know.
It's also why he's a better defender
Denny's
and he's
fine.
a
No,
better
the fuck
rebounder.
he's not.
And the
No,
perimeter,
he's not.
yes, he is.
Get the fuck out of here.
Josh Hart, on the perimeter, he just got caught. Yes,
He just got caught.
yes,
He just got caught.
Yes, he is.
He just got caught. He just got caught.
Josh Hart is actually not a better. It's not even close.
You just got
as a
caught.
better
So
defender.
far,
You just got caught.
So far, I have
Not calling
three.
casual
I have Derek White. I have
You're
OG
really
Anunoby.
taking Josh?
What? No, Dante.
No,
Dante.
y'all both said three.
Okay.
You said
Yes,
you said
and Dante.
Dante.
Yes.
And you said Dante.
Yes.
Are we classifying Isaiah Hartenstein as a role player?
Yeah.
Yes, and I would take Deni.
I would take Deni.
Oh my God.
Jalen Suggs or Deni Avdija.
Deni Avdija.
That's a good one to me.
Jalen Suggs is damn good though. I'm taking
I would-
Deni.
Those are tough.
It's very close. You know what Deni does as a finisher and a transition player?
Hold on, can you
is
let him
so-
moderate?
I don't need an explanation for everything, John. God damn it. You've talked
This
about
or that.
Deni Avdija's game for like 5 minutes. We know what he does
He
well.
does do a lot.
Apparently
well,
you
though.
don't. You thought Josh was the better defender,
Oh
bro.
shit. Oh shit.
Let me finish his role player list because you think he's a tier 1
All right,
role
here we
player.
go.
I think so.
Jalen Suggs.
I'm going with Deni. Stand on business.
No, Suggs is really fucking
He's
good.
OD on defense.
I would go Hartenstein over Deni. I would. The rim protection is the offensive rebounding is too valuable.
Okay, good point.
He's a good passer.
He is.
Has that little hook shot, little floater
That
hook
fucking
shot.
jump shot with that jump hook.
Yeah,
Golly.
he's really valuable. I would take Hartenstein.
I'm starting to feel bad about that one. He's talking, and I'm just like, I'm
Suggs
staying
or
10, though.
Denny, because Denny is bigger.
Yeah.
I might take Suggs. I might take Denny. I like Suggs' perimeter defense. The shooting is getting better for both guys.
Yeah.
But I think Denny's a better playmaker. I think he's a better connector.
What I didn't take into account when I said Denny over Hardenstein is the fact of bigs are so valuable. They are. Yeah. I'm still going to stay with my answer.
I would take
though.
Denny over Suggs.
Andrew Nemhard.
I would take Denny right now.
I'm gonna take
But
Denny as well.
That shit can change
Yeah.
so quickly.
In this moment, Deni, long term, I'd take Andrew Nemhard.
Nemhard had a couple playoff series.
Yeah.
Let's
Are we
just not pretend.
classifying Miles Turner as a role player?
Yes.
I would do that.
Turner's
Miles
dropped
was
off
pretty
as a
good.
defender.
I'm not moved by Miles Turner. I'm sorry.
I
Give
would
me
take
Denny.
Deni. Denny's more.
I've liked
goodness.
I've liked Miles for years.
Oh, we know you're a big Indiana guy.
You're a big blocks guy. That's why.
I was.
Were you Hassan Whiteside?
He
fan?
just averaged 17 and
I know,
17 and 8.
I know.
I think.
Yo,
Yeah,
you
roughly.
said that block shit with Wemby. You cannot forget about the steals also.
I'm sorry.
Because that's really what it is.
You do know Denny averaged 14, 8, 4, a block and a steal a game.
One of
It
the
wasn't
third
better than
defenders
Miles
in the
Turner
game.
last year, bro. Miles Turner was better than him last year.
Denny was so
At what?
efficient.
At scoring the ball.
Miles Turner's really
What else?
fallen off as a defender.
As a rim protector.
Well, once a
Kind of
center,
his
and
job.
one's not
He has to
essentially.
do that.
I mean, of course, but Miles Turner last year was a better player than Deni
I
Avdija.
mean, one's a big. One's
He
a
averaged
big.
17 and 10 in the playoffs.
I'm
I
going
believe.
Denny.
Miles Turner's not that good for being real.
Okay, let's go on.
17
somewhere.
and 10 in the what? He averaged
in the
17 and
playoffs, I
7.
believe. In the,
Oh,
in the playoffs.
Let's find out. You may be lying. I hope you're not. You are in fact lying.
What did he average in the playoffs?
17 and 7. You lied.
17
You're
and
thinking
7
last
in
year he
playoffs?
averaged 16 and 10.
Yeah, he
5
did.
games.
In 2020, he did
Yeah,
in that 4
You
games.
lie.
Well, 17 and 7. That's still really good.
No.
The 7 rebounds for starting center's not.
And
really
Miles
telling
Turner has some blow up games too.
Let's
anything.
find out.
He has some
So
blow
does
up
Denny.
games.
Denny had a lot of blow up games.
In meaningless shit games. What are we talking about? He had blow up games in a playoff.
This is the hater
When you
coming
play
out.
in the Wizards, brother,
Let's see,
every
let's see.
game is
I'm
meaningless.
looking at it,
I hate
don't
to be
worry.
the one to break it to.
Blow up game.
But-
What's a blow up game for you?
Well, he had 22 and 23 against the Celtics.
He did.
He had 23 and
He played
10 and
great
22
against
and
the
10.
Knicks.
Against the Knicks,
Points-wise,
yes.
is
He
looking
was
at
a
it, yeah.
consistent 17
You
plus
know how
point
many,
scorer.
you know how many
Brother.
double? Do you know how many times he had double-digit rebounds in that series?
Against the Knicks once.
Yeah.
Never been a good rebounder.
Yeah, he's not a great rebounder, but I think
mean,
Miles
look-
Turner
look.
last year was objectively a better player than Deni Avdija. But neither here or there.
I don't know why
Objectively.
Objectively?
It's a lie.
Alex Caruso.
Oh, Caruso.
Fuck you mean who?
Yeah.
What are you, John? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'd say Caruso. But
This is
you know what?
this is the easiest one of them all.
You know, the reason why I said whew is because, well, honestly, Deni Avdija reminds me of it's a bigger version of Caruso, but I think Caruso's the better player. He's 29 years old. He's a lot more developed.
I understand what you're saying.
But that's what he's always, that's been my player comp for him for a while.
Austin Reeves.
Deni Avdija.
Oh my God! No hesitation, John.
No, that's close. But I'd take Deni.
I think Austin Reeves' scoring juice is pretty much higher, a lot higher than Denny's right
And
now.
they got Reeves doing what he shouldn't be doing, which is guarding.
I'm gonna go
ones.
Reeves. I'm a little bit higher.
Thank
on Reeves.
you.
I'm gonna go Reeves.
The answer is Reeves.
Really?
It is. as a scorer, as a playmaker.
Offensively,
he's actually not a bad rebounder either.
Offensive.
Well, Denny's an awesome rebounder too for a four.
Well, he's a point guard.
Offensively, they're in the same exact bubble. But on the defensive end, Denny brings a lot.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
With Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves' ball handle. We also have to.
Austin Reeves shooting, his pick and roll management. What are you talking about?
His ball
They're
handle.
not the same offensive player.
Insane.
Denny Avdija. What is he on a really good offense?
He's an awesome off-ball mover. Good
Off
corner
ball.
shooter.
Reeves is off and on ball.
He is.
Yeah, I agree.
Denny Avdija can't control an offense
But
like Austin Reeves.
They have damn near identical.
You're cooking.
Very
If
well.
you let me finish,
You just said Austin Reeves could be the third best player on the championship team. You think the
yeah,
for Denny is the same thing?
they have identical production offensively. These are two guys who produce the same exact thing offensively.
No, that's not fair because one plays with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, so obviously they're going to get less opportunity. He plays with
that's BS.
He plays
because
with Kyle
benefits
Kuzma
off
and
of that. He benefits from that because if
He also benefits
He plays on
ball
balls though.
What
I don't
happened?
think
What
he would
happened?
scale
Game one
the
of the
way another guy
NBA
would.
playoffs last year when Austin Reeves was the guy down the stretch
Yeah.
against the Memphis Grizzlies. He won them that
I
game
love
in the
Austin
fourth
Reeves.
quarter.
What was
Denny
his
Avdija's not
efficiency
doing
in
that.
the WCF last year?
Yeah, I think Denny's being really underrated. That's my point.
So you think Denny Avdija could be the second best player, the third best player on the championship team?
You kind of have to say that, John.
I said contender a year and a half ago, and I think Denny would be on a contender. Yes.
The third best player on the championship team.
Denny is very good.
Joel,
I
you're
just
mixing.
don't know.
Aaron Gordon or Denny Avdija?
This is my problem. I said contender. You said championship team, which insinuates a championship winner like the Celtics.
No, I understand what
That's
you mean
two
by
different
contender.
things.
Denny Avdija
No,
is not
'cause
the
you-
third best player on a
you-
contender, bro. What are we talking
Yes,
about?
he could. Be.
No,
You
he's
put him
not.
on the Lakers, they're still a contender. That's my point. If
you
you're
put him on the
replacing all
Lakers-
three,
Anybody, who can't be a contender
say
next
that?
to LeBron
allowed
and
to say
Anthony
that?
Davis?
I don't think they get worse. I
said that
is
if
my
we got
point.
Denny,
I think
I'd
they
come.
get better. In the defensive end, they'd be amazing.
They get worse on offense, 100% without
Get a lot
Austin
better
Reeves.
defensively.
They were pretty bad last year.
A lot better defensively. Jamal.
Honestly,
And the year before, they were really
I know
good.
you're not tapped into Denny on
were.
defense. He's a little bit inconsistent
amazing.
some nights because he's playing one of the worst teams in the NBA. But if you put him alongside Anthony Davis, you would have one of the very best wing defenders in the NBA.
Okay, Aaron-
who is pretty good offensively.
Next name, Aaron Gordon or Denny Avdija?
Aaron Gordon.
Aaron Gordon.
I'll go Aaron.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Aaron
Gordon.
KCP.
Denny Avdija.
I'll go KCP.
I would also rather Denny.
Cam Johnson.
Denny.
Denny.
Mikal Bridges. We classify him as a role player?
Mikal Bridges. I am
Yeah.
classifing him.
All right.
as Mikal Bridges.
Okay.
player.
All right.
And it's not close. It's Mikal
Okay.
Bridges.
Yeah.
So I think
Mikel's way better than him.
so. I think so far we established the tier 1 role players, and that's not Denny.
Let me not say way.
Yeah.
He's better than him.
Mikel is like such a souped up role player
He is.
that would be like tier 1, like him and maybe one other
The
player.
tier 1 role player is Mikel, OG, and Derek White.
Caruso too.
And, yep, there's 5 guys. I'll throw Drew Holiday in there and Caruso. Those are a tier of their own.
Jaden McDaniels or Denny.
I'll go Jaden.
Very close.
I'll go Jaden.
Yeah.
Jaden's offense is very up and down, like you mentioned
Yeah.
with Denny. So, but
He really regressed
Jaden's
this
a better
year.
defender, so I'll go. Jaden.
I think
Well, I don't know.
I think it's tough because we still don't know enough about these two as shooters. I think it's a toss up. And I would say Denny.
I'll respect the all
You would take Denny
defender.
over Jaden McDaniels.
It's tough.
Lock in, man. Stand on it. Don't let him sway you. Stand on it, John.
John, I can't. I'm going Jaden.
I don't mind.
He's been
Yeah.
all NBA defender already.
I agree.
You're on your
Multiple
own on this
times.
one.
PJ
Denny
Washington.
Oh my God.
what? Oh,
Denny Avdija.
Yeah. I
Oh,
would take
show
Denny
some
Avdija.
goddamn respect.
No, I'm actually not fooled by those 2 playoff series anymore. He's still fucking mid. He's fucking mid, and he was never a needle mover.
And the defense was a lie.
I think-
Norman Powell.
I think Denny Avdija.
Denny Avdija.
Denny
At
Avdija.
this point,
If he's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
scoring,
Great
unfortunately,
shooter, though.
Norman.
Great
Love
shooter.
fucking amazing shooter.
Herb Jones.
Herb Jones.
Herb.
He's a tier
And
1
he
guy.
is a tier 1
He's a
guy.
tier one.
Fuck,
I'll
I
take
should have
Herb
waited
Jones,
on that.
I
Honestly,
think.
there's a few.
Trey Murphy.
Trey, but it's close.
It is Trey Murphy.
I like the shooting is just nuts.
It's marginal though.
I think this is a super close one. Take Trey Murphy.
We counted Malik Monk as a role player.
I
Yeah.
would, and he's a tier 1 guy also. And I would take Malik. And add Nas Reed, I would take Nas Reed. He's
Okay.
a tier 1
Yeah.
guy.
Nas
I
Reed,
would
yeah,
take
2
both of
6
them.
men of the year.
I agree.
Okay.
Malik and Denny is
You got about
interesting,
8,
but I'd
9
take
tier
Denny.
1 guys.
Andrew Wiggins.
I'm going Denny at this
Until-
point.
if you telling me he's locked in, I'd go Wiggins. But he's not locked in right now. I'd go Denny.
Wiggins 2 years ago, take him.
2
Right
years
now,
ago, for
kinda-
sure.
Yeah.
Shit, last year before the injury, I'd take Wiggins.
Is
Trace,
Draymond,
yeah.
is
Trace
Draymond a
Jackson
role player?
Davis.
Draymond is a low-end all-star.
Shout out trades, but I'm
Fine.
taking Denny.
No, it's Denny.
2 years. We'll talk.
Big time.
Okay, now we're on to the Rockets. Fred VanVleet.
Or Denny.
Is Fred's been an all-star.
Fred's a weird
Okay,
one.
so we
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
won't
No,
count.
because
That's
Drew
fair.
was an all-star. I think Fred is a role player.
Yeah, I didn't mention Drew though. That's fair.
Okay,
if he's
yeah,
a
okay.
former All-Star, that's fair.
That's tough.
So the Rockets, they really don't have like another
They're
role
all
player.
trying to figure out who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Dylan Brooks.
Well, good God, we're taking Denny. We're not thinking about it. It's okay. We're taking Denny. Stop.
It's Denny.
Stop. No, like Dylan Brooks stinks.
Yo, if you put Denny on the Grizzlies, one, he'd still be on that team, and two, good God Almighty.
Movies.
So who's a good role player on
shit with movies is made up.
Devin Vassell, Deni Avdija?
I wouldn't classify him as a role player.
You think?
Really?
You don't think so?
I think he's.
If Mikal is a role player, I think Devin Vassell.
That's why I didn't want to say Mikal.
I think Devin is. It's gonna sound weird, but I think he's making his way towards ascending all-star.
So then what's Claxton?
He's like a tweener. I would say he's like a tweener. Mikal, I'm sorry. He's a role player. Like his best attribute, his best moments will be as a role player. I know you like that the fact that he gets a little bit more on ball stuff. That brother's a role player.
He is.
He's a high end, high level.
So Claxton is too?
Claxton's a tween. He probably is a role player. Claxton's a role player.
So Mobley's a role player.
Mobley's a low end all star. Just please show some fucking respect. He's a defensive star.
He's a high-end starter, I think. Until he takes a step forward off.
I guess the last name I mentioned.
If you're a top 5 defender in the world, you're somewhat of an all star.
Is he a top 5 defender? No.
Yes. And stop.
Okay.
The last name I'll mention is Jeremy
Did you see what he
Grant.
did in the playoffs?
Jeremy Grant.
Defense, just look at defense.
It's very good.
He's other world.
Say it again.
Jeremy Grant.
Denny.
Jeremy's underrated.
Jeremy, like you giving
Really
me Jeremy in the when it matters, Jeremy, I'll go Jeremy.
Dude, he's such
I
a
think
good
Jeremy
shooter.
could be a tier 1 role player if that money wasn't in his head.
Mm-hmm.
He could score. He catch and shoot. He's solid.
He went and got his bag.
He
I
can
think
play
if he
defense,
gets
he can
traded to a
rebound.
contender, he'll be
I'm
locked in
taking
again.
What
Jeremy
team wants to
Grant, but
take
I
that
think it's
contract?
close.
Dallas might. They send them bums
Facts
out.
though.
Send Matt Kleber.
I could be wrong on the Jeremy
Holmes
Grant
is in.
and Denny.
Ship Kleba and
Rashawn Holmes, is he on the team?
far off from
Fuck,
that
he is.
Dallas area.
Shit, PJ. Fuck. Like,
Get him
What are
gone.
you doing?
See ya.
Like, get him out of there. Go get Jeremy Grant.
You're taking
clears
PJ over
Washington.
Denny. Be dead ass.
God almighty.
Huh?
Needle mover.
He never was, and we got fooled. We
No,
got
yes,
fooled.
he was, and you admitted it.
No.
You admitted that he was
Yeah,
a
because
needle
for
mover.
fucking 2 series, he fooled the world.
How about you show some goddamn respect?
No,
He
because he
is
was
a needle
fucking
mover.
ass in the WCF, and he was ass in the finals.
He isn't even over.
Who's a needle mover?
Maybe Joel's needle. Other than that, no other needles moved.
I wasn't counting all the role players, but I think we named about like
amount.
15
Yeah.
plus.
Yes.
Yes.
A good amount.
Yeah.
So what, you would say tier 1 still?
Yeah, top 20 role player. Maybe like tier 2. Top tier 2.
That's not tier 1.
Top
Denny
of
not
tier
tier-
2, very
Denny's not
bottom of
tier
tier
one.
1 for Denny.
He's tier 2, tier
But the reason why I'm higher on him is because he's only 23 and he took a huge jump this year. I don't think he's done developing.
Yeah, the fact that the Blazers got him so young still.
And that's why I was so
He's on
shocked.
a nice low contract.
He feels like the perfect building block for a team like the Wizards to pair alongside Bilal. So I felt like trading him was almost a way of like saying we don't value that archetype, which
And they
every
just picked-
single
they just
contender
got
wants.
Yes.
They would have had
I
Bilal,
know.
Denny, Sarr.
It would have been a
disgusting.
fucking
Well,
movie.
didn't Sarr say
Disgusting.
that he doesn't want to play the 5 though?
No, I'm talking about 2, 3, 4.
That is a
Defensively would
good
have been
point, Joel.
nuts.
That's a great point.
Like that would.
But still, I want to care.
Sorry, why doesn't he want to play the 5? Because he's frail.
skinny, he's frail.
But I think the 3 and 4, if they're thinking long term, because I think Bilal's more of a 3.
I would have had him at the
Yeah.
3.
So I think it would be him and Sarr at the
That's
3
a great
and 4.
point, though.
Denny could play the 2, and then
You
you
think
have.
so?
Yeah, just for the
I
time.
don't
Keep
know.
developing it. I know you're a hater. You don't watch much of Denny. I understand.
Bro,
that.
a guard? He's not a
You
guard.
don't have to be a guard. The Clippers
to
play
play-
3
yeah.
wings, 4
Yeah.
wings. What's wrong with you,
4 wings,
brother?
in their starting lineup.
They ran out PJ, Kawhi, Marcus Morris, and Batum at one point.
Terrence Mann.
Started from the 2 to 5.
Paul George is a guard.
Paul George is a wing.
He's a
that,
tweener. He
Paul
has
George
guard
is a
skills.
wing that
He's a
he-
swinger.
Denny
that does-
Avdija don't got guard
Denny
skills
been in the
like
gym.
PG.
Denny been in the
No,
lab.
but Paul George is a wing.
He's a guard and wing.
He can play 2 to 4.
Just wing man, brother.
Yeah, but Paul George has legitimate guard like skills.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm
Not
saying
every
it can
forward
happen
does.
to where you can.
I don't
play
think
multiple.
Denny has.
Marcus
those
Morris had
skills.
true big skills.
Marcus Morris.
Yes.
I'm just saying
No,
that,
but I'm actually.
bro.
did he have
Ideally,
true big
you're not having Deni Avdija be your shooting guard.
It's not about being a shooter. You can just play a point guard, 2 wings, and then 2 bigs. That happens a lot. You're just calling it. It's not the traditional the 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. That's gone. It's just how many people are you playing out there? Who's fitting with who?
And Alex Sarr is not skill enough just yet to say he's a true 4. So,
Stop hating on Denny, man.
I'm not hating. He's just not a guard. He's a forward.
I agree.
Is Marcus Morris a 5?
He never started at center, bro.
In the
He-
playoffs? Yes, he
you,
did.
you might get
brother.
spot
No,
minutes.
brother, that's how they came back down
this is-
2-0.
Your brain is fried right now.
Is
Marcus
Robert-
Morris started at the 5.
Robert Covington also
better
started.
You
Small
should
ball
know this because they
PJ.
played your golf Luka. They played him. He started at the 5.
You're right. You're
Is
right.
he a big?
You're right.
Is he a
but
big?
that's a series specific thing.
Is he a big?
No, he's not a big.
So then what are we doing here?
But they played him out there so they could space the floor and they could play a 5-out offense. That's why they played him out there.
But if you run with Deni at the 2, obviously you're still running a lineup with some more size. With the way that the Wizards have their lineup set up, it would be Tyus Jones running the 1. You put Deni at the 2, Bilal at the 3, Sarr at the 4, at the 5, or
That sounds
Kuzma.
awful.
I mean, the Wizards are awful.
They're awful. It's a development moment.
Yeah, but you just mentioned me 3 of the starters, and it's just awful.
They have to develop.
What the fuck do you want me to
'Cause
say?
I don't
though?
think-
What's awful.
If
Brother,
they're
what do you want us to
if
do?
they're
Yeah.
prioritizing Bilal Koulibaly's development, I think it's not the worst thing in the world they traded Deni.
I mean, you trade Kuzma.
Yeah, get him off the team.
They're
He's,
still gonna have Kuzma.
I don't want to
at
get
4.
crazy. He doesn't suck. He's not. He's just,
He
That's
does. No,
right.
he's a good.
he
he's
doesn't
one of the
suck.
champs.
He doesn't
He's a good
suck. I don't want to get strong worded. That'd be incorrect.
No,
It's
I
maybe
mean
not
Kuzma.
Is he
Kuzma is a
impactful.
really good player.
Not that impactful, Kuzma.
really good? He's like the best average player in the league.
How is Kuzma really good and Denny's okay?
Yeah.
I don't think Denny's okay. I never said Deni was okay.
What is Deni in
What
your
is
eyes?
Deni?
1
I
to
think
10.
he's a good player.
See, I
1
don't
to 10.
that.
What is
Where's the
Deni?
really good part in that?
1 to 10. What would you give him? And you can go into like the points if you want to.
10 being a superstar player.
10 being SGA.
10 being like, okay,
No,
the
10
best
being
players
a
in the league.
high-level starter.
Yeah, no.
So 10 being Drew Holiday.
Okay, fine. I
That's
agree with
that's
that.
a weirder
He cooked.
grade.
No,
He
because
cooked.
that's who he's a
cooked.
role player.
He cooked.
So 10 being Drew,
Yes.
10 being OG Anunoby
Correct.
to
So
make it easy.
10 is being the best role player possible.
Yes.
Yes.
I think Deni is a 7.
I don't hate that.
Think he's a 7.
I was
No!
you know why I don't
Low.
hate it? Because
It's
I thought he was
low,
going to
bro.
say 4. I don't hate that.
No,
he
he
said
said 4 is
four.
never entering my
If he
mind.
said 4, stop the show. We're stopping the show.
I thought the way he's
If
been
it was
talking.
4, I swear to God, I was
I
gone.
thought the way he's been talking.
If he said
we
4,
were
I
hating-
swear to God,
we were hating-
was gone.
7's low.
So what's Kuzma?
What is
You love
Kuzma?
overrated role
What's Kuzma? What's Kuzma? What's
Like
Kuzma?
who? Like OG
What's Kuzma?
Anunoby, who I've been saying for years has been an impactful player?
Like Austin Reeves.
Austin's like 8.
Like Austin Reeves. That's where you go. Not OG Anunoby, who now is one of the pride and joys of your favorite team.
What about OG Anunoby?
For
all knew
years
he
we
was nice. Well, we always knew he was nice. He's not a star player.
Saying is nice.
Yeah, bro, was there not a point in time where Drew was trying to convince us that OG could create off the dribble
Yeah,
and he could
he
average
really
20 a
believed- that's
game?
what he's saying. He
Did-
believes
did-
that he's
did
been
he not
believing
say that
OG.
at one point?
That's
You
great.
definitely overrated OG at that point in time.
And OG
Because he's not that.
That's what he's been saying. Yeah. Yeah.
And now he's getting paid 42 M's for your favorite team.
But those skills he does not have that you thought he could develop or had.
Then he's
at
got
one
some
point,
of
he did
those
not have
skills.
that. OG Anunoby, let's be clear. OG Anunoby got paid that money because we were going to lose him for nothing. So we
They did
had
have to
to
overpay.
match the
I'm not
offer.
mad about
He
him
got
getting paid.
Yes,
They
he
did
deserves
overpay.
I'm not either.
They did overpay.
You
OG.
guys lost
It was
3 games in
bro,
the regular season
but
with
he's
OG.
not- he's not worth
My
42
point
mil.
being is
course not.
OG's amazing
Yes.
and he's a
He's
role
worth like
player.
35.
That's okay.
33.
Deni Avdija is
been
not no
overpaying all
fucking
summer.
7 as a role player.
Yes, he is. 7 out of 10.
With
That's
his
a
injury
really good role
concerns, I just
player.
want to pay him more.
That's a
I wouldn't
really good
want to
role
An
player.
average role player. AC is average.
Is
He's
KCP not a
average.
7 role player?
Last
he's like
year
an
or
8.
this year?
This year?
Because last year he was damn near a fucking 10.
No, he was not.
What do you mean? He was shooting like 40% from 3
Bro, if
and
10
he was
is,
locking
if 10 is
up.
Drew Holiday, KCP's not 10.
Last year,
yeah, of course.
KCP in the
Like,
playoffs.
look,
I'll give him like an
8.5.
8. I think he's like
8.5.
8.
Was
You
Drew
just
Holiday
mentioned,
a
you
10
just
last
mentioned,
year?
he
Was
just
Drew
told
Holiday
me.
a 10 last year as
a role player?
Yes, he
On
got
the Bucks?
fried by Jimmy.
No,
Well,
wait,
They
that
were,
wasn't last
they
year.
were allegations. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
Last
listen,
year.
bro. That's
Not
bad.
this-
That just passed.
no. There's this year, which we're kind of
Him getting fried did not change the fact that he was still an A+ role player.
I-
during
the
the
All-Star
season.
My
game.
point being is, there was conversation about Drew being washed after the Bucks
Of
Heat
course, the
series.
optics were
think
crazy.
those are
But,
fair.
but prior to that, he was amazing throughout the whole regular
I'm
season.
with you. I'm with you. But you understand the point there.
Yes, yes.
He was getting washed allegations
By an
after
All-Star, yes.
one series. KCP was unbelievable that entire
He
playoff
was not
run.
a 10.
As a role
He was an
player,
8.5. You know?
He just
I'm with the 8.5.
he just
He
told
wasn't
me what the grading curve is.
Yeah.
If 10 is Drew Holiday, then at no point in KCP's career has
last
he been
year,
a 10 as a role player.
Last year,
OG's
No.
like a 9.2.
No.
9.2. Okay, whatever.
you
He's
just
still
said
Nugget, the
Because
Nugget,
he does
KCP,
do nothing.
whatever.
Dribble.
KCP
I should've got- he's
But
still
listen
an A.
now. Yeah.
KCP was a fucking A.
KCP played a pivotal part, but that playoff run was historical by Jokic and a
all I
superstar
care about
performance
is
by
we're talking
Jamal.
about role players,
I
though.
know, but he was
an amazing
he
fucking
amazing
role
wasn't
player.
a 10.
He
That's
was
all I'm saying.
He
He
was
wasn't a
shooting
10.
lights out. He could not fucking miss, and his defense was excellent.
He wasn't a 10.
For a role player, he was a fucking A, guaranteed, stamped.
You know, it could be a 92, 91.
So yeah, Deni Avdija. If the grading curve is a 10 and it's Drew Holiday, I think Deni Avdija is a 7.
Where's Kyle Kuzma?
I'd have him a little bit higher.
I think
8.
Kuzma's a 7.5. I don't think that they're that far off, but I think Kuzma is a better player.
You think
Yes.
Kuzma, when he was impacting winning teams, was a 7.5?
He wasn't.
With the Lakers, when he was a role player when he won the championship in 2020, I thought he was a 5. I thought that
That's
Kyle
valid.
Kuzma, his shot, he couldn't find it at all.
His defense
But
was good.
defensively, he was an all-world defender in that playoff.
He was
run as
mad
a whole.
good
You know,
defensively.
Denny Avdija has been an all-world defender for 80 games.
Almost every single
Okay,
game
I
of his
understand,
career.
but we're talking about Kuzma here. Like Kuzma, that's why I told you I gave him a 5 because he was an all-world defender with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I know Kuzma could defend. Maybe it's not like
Denny
Avdija.
Denny
think
can
close.
defend.
Kuzma
he can pass.
Kuzma
he
could
can
defend,
shoot.
and Kuzma could do more off the dribble than Denny.
But you just
Yeah.
gave. I'm saying my point is you gave Kuzma a 5 because he was all-world defense. Think of Deni Avdija. He's all-world defense.
is better.
Can shoot the 3-ball. What has shown for a year.
So I
He
gave
can
him a
shoot the
7.
3-ball. Brother, this sounds like an 8 to me. Like he can,
Yeah.
he can do things off ball. He's a good cutter. He can hit the 3-ball.
My argument is he's just not average. He's not
Good
average.
flash.
He's not an average role player.
Kuzma's the better scorer, and defensively,
no, he's
above
a
average
good
one.
role player.
You know,
Deni Avdija is a good role player. He is.
I would say more than that, but
What would you say, John?
I think he is.
I wish
really
a better
good,
team than the fucking Blazers
I
traded
agree.
for him terribly, bro.
But you know what? I think he could be a good Bill and Black and become good.
You're right.
Denny's a really good to awesome role player. You know, it just depends how consistent his 3-point shot is. Because
When I saw it
he
was
took
traded,
only 3 attempts,
and I
this
saw
year.
that it was the Blazers, it's like I got punched in the stomach.
What's Isaiah Hartenstein's rating on this role player scale?
like an 8,
An 8.
a strong 8.
8.8.
So
yeah,
if
that's very
Yeah,
accurate.
if he's an 8, is
Eight,
Denny
he,
not?
no,
a
he
7?
said 8.8.
So almost a 9.
I would say
I
so.
think
Isaiah was
OG's a 9.
high. No. OG is a
10.
fucking 10.
You lost me. OG.
Fair enough.
Drew.
Any
Caruso.
tier
Here's
one,
why.
any
Herb,
tier one
they're
is a
10s.
10.
The reason why is because not Denny. OG is kind of injury prone, and he does absolutely nothing.
Injuries have nothing to do with my
Correct.
my
Neither
list.
me. Neither
They have
me.
Nothing to do with my ranking.
Neither me.
Those
He
are
also
10s.
doesn't do anything off the dribble, but I think he is.
That also you're a role player. I really don't. It's not the end of the. It's not the end of the world if you don't.
Right.
You know what else can you do?
This is my comparison. I think on the grading scale, 2 guys who would get the same grade, Deni Avdija and Cam Johnson to me would get the same grade. They would get the same grade.
I don't think Cam Johnson that good to me.
Cam Johnson last year was bad.
Yeah, he's on the Nets.
And he's
nobody's
on the
trying.
Wizards, but that's not a fair argument. It's not a fair argument.
But nobody's trying
But
with the
nobody's
Nets.
trying on the Wizards. And Denny's still bald.
Yeah, he cooked.
ball.
That's why I don't want to hear that.
He did
Also,
cook.
I
Yeah,
don't wanna
but
hear
with
that.
the Nets, they had a coaching change, and nobody had a defined role. I mean, nobody had a good time with the Nets, bro. Like Cam Johnson,
The Wizards are the Wizards.
I'm measuring Cam Johnson by what he did in Phoenix.
The Wizards were in a race for worst team in the
Phoenix?
league with the Pistons all year.
Brother Phoenix, he was a 13-point per game scorer.
he was awesome.
I know,
As
that's
like-
what
And
I'm
when
saying.
he got
Starter,
traded,
awesome.
That's a
when
7
when he
role. I
got
think he was a
traded to
7.
the Nets, he averaged 16 that same season. This year, he fell off pretty
17
drastically.
actually to help you out.
Correct.
16.6.
This year, he's back to 13, if
Yeah,
I'm not
the thing
mistaken.
is that
and his efficiency
Cam
was
is a
bad.
good role player to me.
He's a 7 role player to me. That's what I think Cam Johnson is.
That's fair.
And
I'm with you.
I like Cam.
like if,
so I
if
won't
you're,
shit talk
if
him.
I think Cam Johnson, there are more teams out there that would rather have Cam Johnson than Deni Avdija
Yeah.
on their team as another starter. Like if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, are you taking Deni or are you taking Cam Johnson? I think it's pretty simply
On a
Cam.
team that's no spacing. Yeah.
I mean, Cam Johnson is a 40% sniper. Deni Avdija just had his first great year as a shooter,
'Cause he
and
was
not
good.
even great.
It
It was
wasn't
like
great,
it was good. It was
Yeah.
a good year as a shooter.
37%.
That's a good year. That's a little
Check
bit
the
below.
attempts.
That's a little bit above average.
'cause
What was
Cam
the
is-
attempts? Like 5?
3.
4?
Cam has been shown
Yeah,
to
like
shoot the
Jaden
Yeah.
three ball.
Yeah.
Cam
A guy like
Johnson, we know, is a
KCP 's
sniper.
taking
Cam is a
5.
lot older though too.
No, I know that, but I'm saying those are 2 guys who I think are 7 role players. I think they're similar. There's some teams that what Denny does, his strengths would be better suited, but
I agree.
Cam Johnson just has such a rare, unique skill with his shooting ability that a lot of guys can't offer at that clip that he offers it at. Like for just a Mavericks example, if you put Denny on the Mavericks, the Celtics are still cheating over in those gaps.
But
With Denny,
he can guard.
you're right. If you put Cam Johnson on the Mavericks, you cannot cheat over.
He gets better. He makes that spot that Derrick Jones is at much better. Deni Avdija. Much better.
He's not a better point of attack defender than Derrick Jones.
He's not, but he's a better shooter. He's a better ball handler. He's a better rebounder. And he can still give you that high level defense.
Well, yeah, Deni Avdija is better than Derrick Jones Jr.
If you switch PJ,
Shit, even if you
Deni.
switch him for Josh fucking Green,
that too,
he's gonna get more
easily.
Oh yeah, he's better than those guys.
Yeah.
He's better. There's no doubt about it. I think Derrick Jones Jr. is like a 4-role player.
Crying at that.
He just had a great year.
Yeah, Denny would easily go on to the Mavericks
that's
and
the
be their
crazy
best
thing.
role player if we're not counting Derek Lively.
This week in the NBA, NFL, I have a would you rather for you guys.
All right, lit.
The other night, the day of my birthday, we were talking about Rudy Gobert a lot, and Rudy Gobert, even last show, you could say got slighted by Andrew, saying that Caruso, he would rather take Caruso over Rudy
To be
Gobert.
honest, that's like one of my favorite opinions of mine.
So I'm just looking at just the past centers that we've seen in the 2010s, and we're going to compare them to Rudy Gobert. Would you rather Rudy Gobert edition? I'm going to name some centers at their very best. Who's better? Who would you take? Marc Gasol.
I'm taking Marc
fucking
Gasol.
start.
We're getting a defensive player of the year who brought so many more
That's a
things
good ass
offensively.
start. I'm gonna go Mark because you're getting elite defense and great post player,
Facts.
great passer,
Facts.
can kind of space the floor in the mid range for sure. And I think if he was in this era, he'd definitely expand his game. So give me Mark.
I'm going with Mark also.
DeAndre Jordan.
I am taking Rudy, and I'm not thinking twice.
Rudy, and it's not even a conversation.
Rudy Gobert easily.
Al Horford.
Al Horford.
Give me Rudy.
This is a great one. I'm going to take Al Horford.
Brooke Lopez.
Apologize. Why?
I don't think Al Horford's offensive game changes my opinion because I think Rudy Gobert's defense is just otherworldly. I think
Yeah.
Al
fair.
Horford's still a really fucking good defender.
he
though.
is, but I think Rudy Gobert is too much of an impactful defender where your offense has to really give me edge. I think Gasol, the numbers don't show it, but he really gives you that edge on offense. And plus, Al is two different players in his arc.
Yes.
You know, and Atlanta, he was more of a post up, didn't really shoot the ball a ton.
all.
He
Didn't
graduated
change.
with the NBA
so-
though, which is I'm
But
giving him that
I'm
credit.
thinking
His
of-
peak
You gotta
is
pick one
Atlanta.
version.
I'm thinking peak
Yeah.
at Al Horford. I'm not thinking Boston.
Yeah.
If you're
shooting
thinking
him.
peak Al Horford, that's
2011.
Atlanta. If you're thinking about shooting Al Horford, it's Boston. He was a role player.
I agree with that, and I think that he could fit on every single team.
So you would take the best version of Al Horford on the Celtics that could shoot
Yeah.
the ball over Rudy Gobert.
He was an awesome passer.
That's 10
Running your
points and
offense
6
through him.
rebounds.
And 5 assists.
Honestly, I don't. Rudy Gobert is irrelevant
Brother,
to me on
that's
offense.
5 assists.
And
too.
honestly, Al Horford
peak.
has
Offensive
been
rebounds matter.
he's been
2017 Al Horford, bro.
Can't say that.
I will give you that benefit of the doubt. You say that, and I keep forgetting. Offensive rebounding is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Horford was a great defender this postseason,
I agree, but he's not Rudy Gobert.
particularly in the finals.
So you think
That's
all time, like
37-year-old
all time
out, too.
center, would you rather Rudy Gobert and
See,
Al
that's-
Horford? You
that's
going Al
where
Horford?
all time you have to go with the 4-time DPOY.
I'm going
But
prime.
why?
versus
If you
prime.
if you think he's better though, you should go Al Horford.
No, it's the would you rather. I feel like on my team, I can space the floor and I still get great defending. I'm going with Al Horford.
I think Rudy Gobert, this version clears this version of him on the Celtics.
I'm taking Rudy.
Like he clears him.
he clears them.
Al Horford is a great player in his specified role.
Al Horford's the NBA champ.
Yeah, he is. You're
I
not
think-
wrong about that.
I
Rudy
don't
Gobert
think
has
he limits
one
you in ways
conference
Gobert
win
will
in his
limit you.
entire career so far while he's had these 4 DPOYs.
Yeah.
So
Gobert
next
is 22
shooter,
more.
next center, Brooke Lopez.
I'm taking Brooke
I'm
Lopez.
taking Rudy Gobert.
I'm taking Brooke again.
You talk about
This is
Brooklyn.
similar to Al.
This is New Jersey, Brooklyn. No defense, can't really rebound at a high level.
You just
But-
have to take the whole totality of their career.
Nah, he said prime for prime.
Is that what it is?
Well, peak for peak. Like
Well, that's the thing. It's like what
It's who-
version
what
of
center
Brooke,
are you taking?
What version of Brooke Lopez?
Even if
peak?
it's this Brook, I'm taking Rudy.
No, of course. I mean, Brooke's old as
But
fuck.
in
Right
Brook-
now, the answer
New
is
Jersey,
Rudy.
Brooklyn was just a great scorer. He was a great scorer. Nobody denies that. But rebounding was mid.
Even on
for
their
a big.
championship
Yeah.
run, though.
Yeah.
Like shot blocking.
Shot blocking
He was
was
in
good.
contention for DPOY for a good
Yeah,
amount
no,
of
he,
2
but that was
seasons
him as a
ago.
role player.
right.
Agreed. Rudy's a role player.
Rudy is not a role player.
What the fuck is he?
Rudy is an all-star.
He's a generational defender.
What the fuck?
He's a role player, dude.
Yo, what
honestly,
is wrong with you?
He really is. He's a role player.
He's a generational defender. I can't call that a role player. A
Yo,
generational
bro, we're
rim
calling
protector.
Rudy a role player?
Do you
Yes.
think
Ben Wallace was a role player.
that's an extreme? I think.
That's different. Weaker era. But he wasn't. I don't think he
Would
was.
you say Dikembe Mutombo is a role player? Because I think Rudy Gobert is the modern version of Dikembe.
I can't believe we're calling Rudy Gobert a role player.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that at all.
We
But
had,
So what is he on his team though? Like on
he's the
his
second
team.
best player on his team.
he is a star. Drew.
Yeah,
Is that
impact wise, it's not even
is
close.
impact fine, but is that even set in stone? that he's second best
Well,
player.
Cat's really fucking good. So
Agreed.
He
Cat's an
anchors the
all-star.
defense. Rudy Gobert for his entire career has never been less than like the second best player on his team.
Yeah.
Even back in Utah, he's always been the second best behind Donovan Mitchell.
Or Gordon Hayward. I just took Brook Lopez and Al Horford because I think they're higher ceiling raisers. And they've been damn
are.
high floor raisers too in the regular season.
They're not the floor raisers Rudy is.
Okay.
That-
I'd rather
that
have a
is the
championship.
fair statement
I'd
I've
rather
heard.
have a championship with Brook Lopez. So
Brother, he obviously you'd
And
rather
Al
have a championship
Horford.
playing with Giannis,
because I
the
don't
best
think
in the world.
I don't think he limits you in the ways that Rudy
So
Gobert will.
you can't. But see, this is
If you
not
put Rudy on the Bucks, do they win a championship?
Rudy Gobert's got sticks for hands.
If you put
and
Rudy
Giannis
on the
don't make
Celtics,
sense.
they
he has sticks for hands.
they don't lose a
brother.
game.
brother. You're talking about Brook Lopez as a 10-point scorer. on
Locked.
the Brook-
If
on
you
the
put Rudy
Milwaukee
Gobert on the
Bucks.
Celtics in place
more
of
than 10
Al
points.
Horford,
But you can't use
They might
championship
not
as why
lose
you
And
the
he's
game.
can't
great at
somebody.
boxing out too to help me on the glass.
Al
He's-
Horford has
he's
games where he's
boxing
like
out
one of
for
the
now.
main
Rudy Gobert is
reasons they
arguably
win
the best
too.
rebounder in the game.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert would anchor an entire defense that's already elite. He would make the Celtics suffocating even more.
The defense would be unbelievable.
And
I
he'd play
agree.
he'd play in a system that's super spaced out to where his rim runs they would be super wide open.
Yeah,
and he just makes
I'm with
simple
you.
passes and easy reads.
I just feel like Brook Lopez is still a defensive player of the year material, rim protector.
What year they won the ring?
2021.
Yeah, come on.
He averaged 12 points. Brook Lopez.
What was his efficiency?
You said he averaged more.
He averaged
Okay.
16 last year. A year ago, he averaged 16
Just what was his
points a game,
efficiency?
brother.
That's
No,
really.
no, no,
37% from downtown.
Can I get his efficiency?
No, I got
Can I
him.
get his efficiency then?
Yeah, I got you.
please?
You said you were talking about the championship. During this championship, I said
rather have a guy
he
who won a
averaged. No, I
championship.
said he averaged 12. You said no, he averaged more than
You said
that.
he averaged 10. And I wasn't insinuating the championship season because he's averaged 16 points per game
One
or more
one
in
time.
many seasons.
This is his first time since 2016.
I know.
So, and
But in
that's-
2017,
and that 16 points, Chris Middleton missed a shit ton of
2017,
timing.
Brook Lopez
John,
still averaging 20.
I feel like what you're insinuating.
He shot
though-
36% from the three.
I feel like what you're insinuating, though, John, is that more championship level teams, would rather have Brook Lopez at his best. But I think it goes team by team. It's team dependent. And I don't know if that's necessarily true because the Thunder would rather have Rudy than Brook.
I agree with you, but I think Rudy Gobert holds you back offensively because there have been years in the playoffs where he gets Reggie Jackson switched onto him and he cannot score the ball.
If
So
you're
then the
the-
Clippers are playing Marcus Morris to the
was
five,
Brook Lopez
scotch free.
How,
What was
how
his efficiency?
I tell you, it was 46-36.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Like
He only's taken 10 shots.
I
Yeah.
think Rudy
Was
Gobert.
Brook Lopez good in the Miami series defensively?
I mean,
No, hell no, John.
no, he wasn't.
it was Jimmy
People
Butler.
had said that Jimmy Butler was a legendary playoff performer. All
Yes, I know.
He still is.
It was
No, it's
him
not.
He
cooking
is.
Hell no.
Drew Holiday again and again.
And
they
who was
don't care.
the backside help?
Oh, it's Brook Lopez.
Okay.
And drop.
All right.
And Giannis.
Tough
to be
matchup,
fair.
man.
Okay, look,
Jimmy Butler
I just
And
I want
Giannis.
to
Let's
name
not forget that. And Giannis.
You know I'd never forget that.
And Giannis. He also was playing
Yeah,
defense.
Giannis-
He was
Giannis-
also on the help
Next-
side.
Giannis was parked in the corner, not helping at all.
We're gonna
That
do
was
the
a
would
bigger
you
problem.
rather still. I just want to get your guys quick answers, quick hitting answers for these though. If you're the Thunder, Rudy Gobert, like these are centers at their best. Rudy Gobert or Brook Lopez.
Rudy.
If you're OKC now,
Why are we
Rudy.
doing this?
come on, John.
Because you
answer
know
the
Lopez
question.
is going to lose.
No, I just don't. I think we're doing too many of these. I ultimately think Brook Lopez on Oklahoma City, spacing out Chet Holmgren, boxing out too.
It
I would
would be
take Brook
nuts.
Lopez.
It would be nuts.
All you had to say was
Brother
Brook
said
Lopez,
boxing out
brother.
like Rudy ain't the best.
I'm just tired of these role player.
I'm just saying,
discussions.
quick hitting. It's quick. That's it, John.
Okay.
You don't got to think too much.
Boxing out.
That's
This
all.
is where the ball knowers
That's
really
all.
lock in, though, John.
Denver
They're
Nuggets.
ball knower. Come on.
If
Well,
you're the
Denver-
Nuggets, are you
neither one
going
of them.
Gobert or Lopez?
Neither is ugly.
You got to pick one.
Lopez.
I don't know. Lopez, I guess.
Yeah,
Spacing the
honestly,
floor.
I think it is
Park
Can
Lopez.
you
corner.
name teams without a star center?
I mean, Rudy Gobert is Miguel Jokic.
The Timberwolves right now.
Rudy Gobert.
Gobert.
I would.
Yeah.
I would
You already have Cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they have Nas on top of that, too.
Yeah.
All right, Gobert.
You essentially
L-
have Brook Lopez on steroids.
The
To
LA
be fair, the
Clippers.
best defensive performance that they put forth was without Rudy.
That's fine.
The LA Clippers.
Gobert.
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 The
There's
Phoenix
so much spacing
Suns.
already.
Gobert.
Gobert.
Gobert for sure.
The Celtics.
Gobert.
Brook
Gobert.
Lopez,
They already have Al Horford off the bench.
which is what I mean. It's the same thing, right?
They
Similar.
can play 4 out. I go Gobert.
The Knicks.
You kind of run that with Mitch.
Brook Lopez.
No, I would go with Rudy Gobert. They already play high level basketball
Rudy.
with a guy
You
like
have Rudy,
Isaiah
Rudy.
Hartenstein and Mitch, and they are amazing.
No, I'm definitely taking
You're getting
Brook.
an upgrade of Nat and Rudy.
Well, I mean, Brook's going to space the floor for Julius, and defensively, he'd be an amazing drop back big in Tom Thibodeau's scheme.
The remaining players I have, We already mentioned Marc Gasol, DeAndre Jordan, Al Horford, Brook Lopez. Next name up, Tyson Chandler.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. He is a on-crack version of Tyson Chandler.
Joakim Noah.
Rudy Gobert again.
Rudy Gobert.
I would take Joakim Noah.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, Rudy Gobert. Yeah. Shout out Joakim Noah.
One of the most overrated bigs in life. DeMarcus
I don't know, man. That Pelicans year was lit until he got hurt. I'm going Rudy.
And then the last name is going to be Al Jefferson.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. Shout out to Al, though.
Yeah.
Al was a nice little post-up player. 6'10", though. Not really feeling that.
Did Al have a midi?
Like a little bit. It was like close
Fake,
to
right?
Yeah, sneaky.
Like a Udonis Haslam midi or?
Yeah.
No.
It was like it was like
It was better
a
than
get
that.
it like the box right there.
Udonis
He's a little
Haslam
bit
midi was
further out.
pretty good, John.
It's just the baseline bidding.
That's all that mattered to me.
So.
You guys got anything for this week in the NBA NFL?
Yeah, come on, of course. My this week in the NFL is I want to ask you guys how many players have won multiple MVPs but have also won a championship. There are only 13 in NBA history. Can you name all 13?
We're gonna go
Can we
round
start
table.
recent and then work our way down?
Yes, but you only get one strike. I'm letting it be known. If you get it wrong, you can no longer guess with
Can
me.
we not do it like that?
You could answer it how you want to. We're just filling in names.
Let's go one by one.
If you guys get it wrong, you can't guess anymore.
So you said multiple time MVP?
Multiple MVPs. You've won a championship once.
I'll start
Oh,
first.
just one time.
Yes, River. You can start.
Stephen Curry.
Correct. That is on this list.
LeBron James.
Obviously, LeBron is here.
Okay. So they could have won more than one championship, obviously. Nikola Jokic.
Correct.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Bang.
I don't know why I just caught a brain fart. I'm going to go with Magic Johnson.
Of course, he is here.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Bang.
Larry motherfucking Bird.
Bang.
Nikola Jokic.
He was already said.
Yeah, you're good though. Don't take him out.
No. He's done.
Oh, okay.
Listening is part of the game, John.
Yeah, you're right.
Go ahead, John.
Wait, I'm done?
I didn't.
What? That makes no sense.
He said
You
Magic,
use a
right?
repeat. Yeah, you already said
He
Magic.
How many
already
we
said
have
Magic
left?
Johnson.
So you said Jokic, Antetokounmpo, Steph, LeBron, Jordan, Magic, Bird. You have
Y'all
13 minus 7, 6.
Y'all didn't say Kareem.
6.
Nobody said Kareem.
Yeah. Kareem was not mentioned.
No, Kareem's not mentioned.
Here's
He's
the
here.
Ultra Bar. Most MVPs.
You can go him.
in
I'll
NBA
go with the
history.
dream. Hakeem.
Attaboy.
Bang.
Okay,
Can you
so
stop
we've
saying
got.
attaboy?
I thought it was my first time saying it.
It's like your third.
Wait,
Hakeem is.
you said the Dream? He was not a multiple-time MVP.
He only has one. Yeah, he has the depoy in the MVP. Yeah.
I'm giving you another life because I'm shocked that he folded this
No,
way.
honestly, when he
You
said
know what?
that,
No,
I thought he had
sorry.
two.
I'm keeping the same energy.
I know.
John, you're gonna have to backpack the rest of this list
Good.
dolo.
So we got 5 names.
So you said Kareem.
Yeah.
You said Larry, Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Steph, Giannis,
Bill
and
Russell.
Jokic. Bill Russell is here.
Yep. So we got a couple left. Okay, let's think about guys in the 90s. Karl Malone does not
I
have
wanna
an
go
NBA
further.
championship. 2000s.
How about 2000?
Shaq has one MVP,
Correct.
so it's not him.
There was somebody else in the 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Tim Duncan was already named.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't. He wasn't.
Nobody said Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Bang. Okay.
My fault.
All right.
I don't have him written down in front of me, so it's like
Yeah, good for you.
9, 10
You're
names.
cooking.
And then we've got 2 names left.
You've gotten everyone in the 2000s and the 2010s. You've gotten everyone in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There is a player in the 80s that you haven't named, not named Larry Bird. And there are,
Or Magic. We already named
and you
Magic.
said Bill Russell already?
Yes.
All right. So you literally have 2 players that played in the 60s, and you have 1 player that played in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay. 2 players in the 1960s.
One of them should be easy.
One of them is obvious.
I
I
want to
mean,
say.
this is 13. Some of the 13 of the best basketball players ever. So
Right. I want to say, this is not a guess, but I'm thinking Oscar Robertson. Not entirely sure if he has 2 MVPs. And
Brother, please go easier.
I know Bob Pettit could, because he's got an NBA championship. Does he have 2 MVPs? Bob Pettit.
bang, first one to ever do this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Because he beat the Celtics, and I think the
We get it, bro.
57 finals.
No, let him cook. All right, listen, he's the only one fighting. Let him cook.
Damn.
Let him cook.
So we've got 1 player left.
All right,
in
so
the
you got
60s.
Bob. Honestly, that was not the obvious one. There is an obvious one here.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's that?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wilt Chamberlain.
Bang. Okay.
My fault.
Last
He won
name.
3 in a row.
He's a legend. Last name. He is a legend of this game.
Mm-hmm.
He often gets discredited when it comes to having conversations of the best to ever do it. He is unbelievable.
Right. And he played in the 70s and the 80s.
Correct.
This is a fascinating question.
Do you know the answer, Joel?
I don't know.
Interesting.
What was it?
That this player is one of
Oh, I think I did.
Yo, Bill Walton is so close to this. So close, but he's not there.
Correct.
Because he was second MVP vote in 77.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I'm not gonna say the name. Is it?
Text it to me.
Don't give me a hint. Yeah.
No, I won't.
You're not
Good.
getting.
I mean, I've given you the
Good.
fact that he played in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah. And he's
and
an
he's
NBA
an
legend.
all-time great, fringe top 15 ever.
Oh, I'm so... Okay, so it's between two players that play in Philadelphia.
Chet.
He's cooking.
Dr. J and Moses Malone. Now, Dr. J spent a lot of his time in the NBA. So I'm going to go here with Moses Malone.
This motherfucker cleaned the fucking
cooked.
board.
He cooked.
Go fucking crazy, John.
That's what I do.
It was
Let's go,
Moses.
John.
I knew it.
Goodness gracious.
Because Dr. J definitely has an MVP in the NBA. But like,
He won 2 championships in the ABA, but I don't believe he won 2.
never won an MVP there.
I don't know.
I'm surprised that I didn't name Moses a lot sooner. 'cause
That's
he
all
has
right.
3
Yes, the
MVPs.
only players to win multiple MVPs and at least 1 championship. Bob Pettit, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Moses Malone, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah. You know what, though? I'm not perfect. I said attaboy when Riv said Hakeem, so
Facts.
it wasn't a guess, but, you know, I thought he did win 2 MVPs when he
He
said
came
that.
in second place the year before.
Yeah, him and Bill Walton, that close.
You have something, Riv?
Nah.
Blind ranking.
Yeah, let's try it again.
He said nah so quick.
I thought you said you had another blind
I thought I
ranking.
did.
He didn't cook. He didn't cook.
Yeah, didn't
All right,
have
John, you have some, I believe. We talked about it before the show. So
We
I'd be
have a
disappointed if you
handful,
didn't.
one of which is NFL related.
Okay.
So it could be this week in the NFL. I want to ask you guys, and as a matter of fact, there's 2 different ways we can go here. A versus series. So I have 2 different options. We go Steelers, Ravens, or Steelers, Browns, or we can go the 2 best teams in the East and North, I think, as a Steeler fan, and that is the Ravens and the Bengals.
Let's do both of them. Let's do
wow.
Browns Steelers and let's do Ravens Bengals. You
Okay.
can start
I
with
want to do
Browns
Browns
Steelers.
Steelers, like as a
Yeah, you can just be the guy that,
Okay.
that moderates.
So you want to participate in the
I
Browns
want to.
Steelers?
It is my team.
Okay, so
Okay.
I can moderate this one for you.
All right, lit.
Doing a versus Steelers versus Browns, going position by position. Who is the better team overall? Who gets more categories? Quarterback.
Listen, Deshaun Watson's pretty
It's the-
bad,
it's
but
the
I would
Browns.
rather Deshaun Watson than Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
I would rather the Steelers, and I'm
I'm not
surprised.
surprised.
I'm warming
What do you
up
want me
to
to say,
Russ.
Joe?
I'm warming up to your boy
Oh,
Russ.
God. I remember
You have
that
to.
delusion.
Mr. Unlimited.
I remember that delusion.
Hey, it's a lot better than what Deshaun Watson was the last 2 years.
So now we have 3 people at the table. So Riv, you're going to be the tiebreaker for this. So Browns Steelers quarterback. Who you
Sean
going?
Watson.
Okay,
That
so
was very
That
inclusive,
one
by the way.
point for the Browns at
beating
running
what a
back.
shame.
It's easy.
I
It's
would-
easy.
Yeah, it is Nick Chubb if he is healthy though.
Right, it's a big question because health and durability is so
Because
the workhorse.
Najee and Jalen is pretty good,
Yeah.
It's not
but
even-
if Chubb's healthy, that's another question.
Doesn't
We go
come
Chubb.
close to Chubb.
Yes.
Jerome Ford was productive last year, but I think because of Nick Chubb's injury, it's a toss-up. Jalen Warren to me is a borderline top 10 back, and I think Najee's gonna have a huge
Until he
year.
shows us he's declining, can we just
Fair
please
enough.
put Nick Chubb?
We'll take Nick Chubb out of respect for top.
He
3
said
back.
Jalen
Okay.
was a top 10 running back. He did say that.
Wide receiver.
What?
You're insane. Wide
They
receiver.
now have Judy. They have Moore.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's also
We
Cleveland.
count. We're not counting.
no,
Rams.
is Morris still on the squad?
I would say
I think
Cleveland.
he is. He might be.
Okay, that's so right now it's 3-0 Cleveland.
Yes.
It's 3-0 Cleveland. Tight end.
Pittsburgh.
Cleveland.
Oh,
Pat's
sorry,
tough.
taking a joke. You.
It
I'm going
is
Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
It's close. I love Muth, but
Offensive line.
They're on the rise.
they're on the rise.
It's still Cleveland.
Wow, it's 5-0.
Yeah, why did you do this?
Defensive line, Browns and Steelers.
Browns.
6-0. Linebackers.
He's an all right.
Linebackers includes edge rushers. The Steelers are gonna win that.
Fine.
What?
Miles Garrett?
We have the best edge
You know what
rushing
I
duo.
mean? You off-ball linebacker.
Okay, but we got a lot better at linebacker, brother.
They have Jeremiah Wusu-Kurama.
We got Patrick Queen.
Their defensive
Let's
line
be real.
is good, though.
Let's be real.
Bro is crying. That's, I'm
Their
laughing.
defensive
got
line is
Ryan
really
Roberts.
good.
Okay, so
Outside
you want to
Wilson.
give linebacker to the Steelers?
Hell yeah.
Wait, are we
got
giving
better depth at
defensive
linebacker,
line
too.
to the Steelers?
No, Browns get defensive line.
because
100%.
of Dalvin. They have obviously Miles. Who's their other guys? I'm blanking on.
I think they have
Top of my head.
Zadarius Smith.
Zadarius Smith. Facts. That's another one.
Unless he didn't go somewhere else. Let me check their depth chart.
Let me
right now.
know, because Highsmith and TJ.
Okay, they have Zadarius
Shelby.
Smith, Myles Garrett, Dalvin Tomlinson.
Dalvin. Mhm.
Shelby.
Yeah. I mean, this is This is
I would
close.
say no.
You could
I would
definitely say it's close.
I would take Pittsburgh's defensive line
And Cam Hayward, but he's also, did he retire actually? Or
No,
is he-
Cam did not retire.
He's still old as fuck.
Yeah, Keanu Benson, Cam Hayward, Larry Ogunjobi. I'd take
I
Pittsburgh.
mean, who are you going with? Are you going with T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith,
Yeah.
Cameron Haywood?
I'm going
or are you
with
going
Steelers.
with the Browns defense?
I'm going with the Steelers.
Okay, so it's 5-1. So
Gotta give him something. This is what they get.
off-ball linebackers, who's better?
Patrick Queen definitely was a huge bump for them.
JOK
I
is a
still-
filthy player.
Yeah, I think
I'd
I'd
take
go
Pittsburgh. They have so much depth at linebacker. I'm a believer. Except in the Kool-Aid linebacker this year.
Peyton
They've had-
Wilson.
I love him.
I love him
And
too.
even got Cole Holcomb too. He's probably not going to be the same player. But on the off chance he is, that's our third or fourth linebacker.
Who's better, John?
I'm taking Pittsburgh's linebackers.
I think I'm going Pittsburgh too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5-2. And now secondary.
Browns
Joey Porter,
dirty.
but Joey Porter is a problem.
I know.
He's a fucking problem. The answer is obviously the Browns, but Joey Porter needs acknowledgement. Yeah. He's going to be a top 5 corner in the league one day.
Cornerback room, Browns, safety, Steelers.
So it's right now.
It's easy the Browns, right?
Yeah, it's the Browns.
Okay.
So it's 6-2. The Browns won over the Steelers.
And who's the better team? Still the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How so? Explain it to
We
me.
have the better quarterback. And I also just look at the Pittsburgh Steelers each and every single year, and we overachieve expectations. Look at the Browns every single year, and they underachieve. For
They just overachieved.
They just drastically overachieved.
As a matter of fact, it was laughable that they did that.
just drastically overachieved.
We're the best defense in the NFL. They got slapped in the face
Yeah,
by 30 points.
John, they
They lost by 30 in the wild card.
Yo,
round.
John's face when you said they overachieved, he was just blank. He was like, fuck, you got
They
it.
lost by 30 plus points.
John, they
Wild card round.
overachieved.
Didn't you lose in the wild card too?
Yo,
By 30 points.
do you know the last time the Jets won a playoff game? You want to check for me? Because last time I checked, I was in the second grade. So, matter of fact, when I was, we went up 21-0 versus y'all. Then we gave y'all a piece of life in the second half, a little thread. You thought y'all would win. You didn't win that shit.
The Jets have won the same amount of playoff wins since 2009 as the Steelers.
How many?
That's actually right.
How many Super Bowls y'all got?
Oh shit!
We got one.
No ring?
We got one. We got a ring.
No ring.
We do got a ring. We got a ring.
Facts, yeah.
You
Went
went
cooked.
You know, the funny thing is, even in our absolute worst year, we win 10 games and make the playoffs.
Was your dad a baby?
Last time the Jets won 10
Probably.
games.
Damn.
Ooh, 2016. They didn't make.
All right,
I cooked.
let's do it with
They didn't even make. The
finally
playoffs.
a volume rank. Finally, all right. We gotta do this last one for the Bengals and the Ravens, though.
Are you moderating this, John?
Yeah, I'll moderate this.
You can do this one.
Word.
Oh, you're not getting involved?
I'll get involved.
Okay, because you're the tiebreaker. We need 3 to.
Okay,
for
so,
tiebreaker.
okay. I
Bet.
love it. Let's do it.
Ravens versus Bengals going position by position. Which team is better? First position up. We're gonna go quarterback.
The
Joe Burrow.
Bengals. It is the Bengals.
It's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's
I don't
better.
need me for that one.
Yes.
Okay.
But it is Joe Burrow.
Running back.
Derrick Henry's on the Ravens.
Yeah,
I
that's
forgot
obvious.
about
So
it.
it's
Yeah.
the Ravens.
Tim for Zach Moss. I don't know if we should be going weapons or
No,
No,
go
it's
receiver
receivers.
and then tight end.
Okay.
You didn't
Why-
just hear us do it?
I know, but I'm asking if it'd be better to just do weapons altogether.
No, we could just do receivers and tight end, split it into its own category.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, clearing.
The Bengals. The Bengals.
All I need is Chase.
Okay. Tight end.
It's the Ravens.
Easily.
Mark Andrews.
He thought-
Yeah.
And Isaiah Likely. Gotta respect him too. He's amazing.
He is so good. Offensive line.
The Bengals just to get Trent Brown. That was a huge addition.
And they drafted Marius Mims.
The Ravens just lost
not
3
sorry.
starters. They lost Kevin Ziley. They lost John Simpson. And who else did they lost? Morgan Moses. Those are 2 very good starters. John Simpson was replaceable. This could be a toss-up. This could
Yo,
be
it
a
is.
toss-up.
I'm gonna need to see it from the Bengals to believe it.
And Ronnie Stanley has
regressed
fell
so
off.
much.
A
He's
cliff.
fell off.
Not
A
same
cliff.
player.
Yes.
I will say I'm gonna need to see it to believe it. I'm still gonna go the Ravens because of what history has shown me with the Bengals. But this is a pretty solid start for what has been a pretty shitty one.
I'm surprised.
I'm going to go with the Bengals just because of their additions and losing 3 starters for the Ravens. Really, that's what does it for me.
Bengals added 2.
I'm going to go with the Ravens here.
Defensive line.
Ravens.
It's the Ravens.
Bengals
It's the
defensive
Ravens.
line's actually bad.
Trey Hendrickson is the only
Including
guy
edge
there, the
rushers.
only impact guy. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens defensive line.
You can
100%.
just skip over linebackers too because it's obviously the Ravens.
Yeah. Linebacker.
And then you can also skip over secondary because it's
Even though we have to give an honorable shout out, the best
this is
corner
happening.
amongst those 2 teams is Cam Taylor-Britt.
and wait
Cam
till
Taylor-Britt's the
it's
best
Nate
player.
Wiggins.
No, Cam Taylor-Britt is the best corner on. Respect to Marlon Humphrey.
I was
Yeah,
about to say,
facts.
Marlon
I'm
Humphrey's
not-
not
better-
there.
I only
better
threw a young
career-
name at him because he
better
threw me a
career.
young name.
You know, I understand that, but
He was
I think
banged up last
I
year.
think right now in this very moment, I think Cam Taylor-Britt
Is he the best
better than
secondary
Marlon
player or
Humphrey.
just corners?
Oh, Kyle Hamilton.
I was
going
gonna
to
say, gotta respect Kyle.
No, yeah. Secondary is the Ravens too. So the Ravens won defensive line, linebacker, and secondary.
Yeah, easily. Everything defensively. I'm going with the Ravens.
What's the final tally?
Good heavens.
Some fucking moderator he is, man.
I didn't put it in my notes.
We went.
Quarterback, Bengals. Running back, Ravens. Wide receiver, Bengals.
Bro said, "Good heavens."
Tight end, Ravens. All right, O-line.
O-line, we
You
went with
went
the Ravens.
You went Ravens. Defensive line was the
Good job,
Ravens.
John.
Everything defense was
Yeah,
Ravens.
everything defense. Linebacker.
So it's 5-2. It was 5-2 final tally score for the Ravens versus the Bengals.
Here we go.
Come on, John.
Yo, I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. What can I do?
That's what I was doing with my fingers. I was like
He looked
this.
straight
I
at
was like this.
Good
This.
Good heavens was hilarious.
I don't know what to say.
Blindly ranking these 2,000 quarterbacks just in a vacuum.
Nice.
Okay, here we go. First name up. Joel likes this guy, Matt Ryan.
We're blindly ranking
Six?
2010 quarterbacks.
It's 6. He said
Is Riff gonna
2000s
try
and
to play?
2010s.
So it could be
you think-
2000, 2010,
Alright.
just 2000s.
Do you think
2000s on.
Do you think he tries to? Last time we did
Joel?
this, he tried to name a bunch of guys that barely made the criteria.
Hear me out.
It was only just one.
5.
You're beyond disrespectful to Matty Ice.
5. We're getting
He is
all-time
so
grades.
He's an MVP.
He is.
I
He's
can't
an
get a
MVP.
good read on him. If
Who's
he's
better
gonna name
all-time, Kirk
superstars
Cousins
or
or Matt
average
Ryan?
guys?
Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins.
I did say in a
Hey,
vacuum.
listen.
I did say in a vacuum.
He is an NFL MVP.
Who?
Matt Ryan.
You know how many times Kurt won it?
I thought I was comparing Matt Ryan.
Oh, you
to-
said Kirk Cousins.
I thought I said Kurt Warner. I apologize.
Oh, I thought you said Kurt.
apologize. Meant to say Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
Kurt Warner, yes.
Yeah, apologize. That's why I lost my mind
yeah.
for a second.
I thought you said
Matt
Kirk
Ryan's better than
Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. I apologize.
yeah.
I did make that mistake. 5?
4 or 5 is reasonable.
I think 4 or 5 is
But I
reasonable.
can't tell if he's going to start
Can't say I'm
naming
disrespectful.
What if he says
superstars.
Kevin Cobb?
He
might
won't
do
do.
some
He won't
shit.
do that. He won't do
Promise
that.
you,
I know
Kevin
him.
Cobb is
We
not
know
wrong.
Riv. We know Riv. This is 5.
I'm
Let's
not
go with 5.
familiar
Let's go with
with his
5.
blind ranking.
I am very overly.
Okay.
You only won one.
I did, but I'm feeling high, baby.
So I'm gonna go with Ryan at 5. Next name up, Donovan McNabb.
6.
I would put him at 6. But what if he puts in another, like,
We got another mid one.
not a mid quarterback, but like
Yeah.
a good one that's not great? Then we have to
Donovan
put him
McNabb
above
is,
Matt Ryan.
you know, at his very best, he could definitely be argued for 5.
But we already have Matty there.
But Matt Ryan is, I think, overall was better than McNabb.
Yeah,
We
I
got to
would-
put McNabb 6.
Put McNabb at 6.
All right.
But these are the first 2 names we got at the bottom, which I don't like.
I'm fine with it.
I don't like it.
I'm cool.
Joe Flacco.
That's my.
He was the worst one.
That's my problem.
He was the worst one.
All right, so we put him at 4 and we live with it.
Yeah.
We put him at 4 and we live with it. Because right now, our only
This
issues
is
that we
bad.
should have switched,
This is bad.
Matt Ryan and Joe
Should have
Flacco
put
had a
more
run.
respect on Matt Ryan. That's what you
if
did
he named
wrong.
another
Fine.
average quarterback like Joe, we're out.
Big fucking
Ben?
Ben.
Perfect.
He's
2
2 or 1. If
I'm
we
not
get
against
Phillip
one of the
Rivers,
ten
I
best
put Phillip
Quarterback,
Rivers at
one
1.
of the 10 best quarterbacks
Neck.
ever.
And that's
play.
incorrect. Wildly.
What do you say?
Phillip Rivers is that guy.
Not better than Ben. 2?
Get out of here. with
Big
that
Ben
shit.
got carried defenses, bro.
Get the fuck out of here.
Look at his
Outta
numbers.
here.
Phillip Rivers would have cooked. Stop
Jerome
He
playing.
got carried by his
Hey.
defense when that defense
He
had
had
up
the
42
tackle
points
versus
against
Jerome
the Jaguars?
Bettis.
No, because he
had
lost.
Blake
One of the
Bortles
best
nuts.
throws in Super Bowl history.
He had scored 35
I
points.
don't give a shit. He had
Against
two of
one of the
most
best
important
defenses in the
plays.
league that year.
Where are we putting Big Ben?
2.
I'm with.
He's 2. He's not 1, he's 2. Stop. He's 2.
So we could get Brady. We
Yes,
could
we
get
get
Manning.
Peyton.
2.
We could get Drew Brees. No,
Yes.
we're putting him at 3.
Brother.
Can-
I'm about to walk out.
Let's not take a gamble
crazy.
because we've
That's
gotten.
What if we get Drew Brees?
All right, we put
I
him
don't give a
1.
What if we get Payne or Tom Brady?
We put them 1.
We're putting Big Ben at 2.
2.
It's a top
You know
10,
what?
That's a top
Joel,
10 quarterback ever.
Let me say this. I fucked this with Matt Ryan. I'll concede to you. What do you want to do?
No, he's gonna lowball
I conceded to him.
We're going with 6, man. Now I'm playing. We're going with 2. We're going with 2.
Big Ben at 2. Next name up, Phillip Rivers.
3. Please, God.
He's better than Phillip.
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning.
And drum roll,
This is
please.
gonna be so bad.
The last name is, unfortunately, my brothers in Christ, Tony Romo.
Good God Almighty.
I'm fine with number 1.
Real ball knowers know. Tony Romo was that fucking guy.
Over Big Ben?
Big Ben clears.
No.
Over Phillip?
No, Tony Romo was dead 3.
That's why I said Phillip next. Once
That
you had
was
to
awful.
once I heard
That's
you
why
say
we could have
Phillip's
put
better.
Phillip Rivers number 1. He's better than
That's
Big
why
Ben
I wanted.
too.
That's why.
he's not.
Hey, brothers,
No, once you said
Brother,
that,
we put the second
immediately was
best
like,
player
I'm
here at 5. I said we have
Yeah.
to put Matt Ryan in the middle.
I made a mistake.
When you put a guy that's really good like
he said
that
all
at the
time.
back
He
end,
said all time.
No, I didn't.
Nah, but like 2000s quarterbacks on. I was assuming we get good guys.
you don't want to
They're all
pigeon.
good guys.
The problem is we
Dehls.
pigeonholed ourselves by starting off
You
with
said Joe
5 and
Flacco.
6.
Like, cares
That's
about
an
him.
issue.
Hey, listen.
Give
Man.
yourselves no breathing room.
So your final list is I'll start at 1. Is Tony Romo at 1, Big Ben at 2, Phillip Rivers at 3, Joe Flacco at 4,
coulda cooked.
Matt Ryan at 5, and Philadelphia Eagles legend
Bro.
Donovan McNabb
Joe
at
Flacco's
6.
the NFL champion, bro.
If we swap Flacco
McNabb
and Ryan,
and Romo's close too.
you swap Flacco and Ryan,
Low-key.
then Big Ben and Romo.
Yo,
really
Flacco.
go less.
Flacco has one of
Flacco
the
low-key
greatest
might be
postseason
6.
runs ever.
I know, but Matt Ryan's
Honestly,
clearly-
if we're
clearly
doing
better
if we're
quarterback.
doing this,
Like, take the
If
Super
we're-
Bowl away, Flacco 6.
if we're doing the
Hey, they
correct
both from the
list,
same draft class too.
Ben Roethlisberger's number 1.
Yes,
Oh shit.
Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers is number 2. I would go with
Maddie too.
with
Phillip
Matt
too.
Ryan.
Yeah, I agree.
I
That
want
should
Matt
be the
Ryan.
top 3.
I
Number
agree.
3 is Phillip
Phillip.
Rivers. Number 4, I would go with Donovan McNabb. And number 5 would be Romo. Number 6 would be Flacco. McNabb showed up.
We can
more
all
in
agree
bigger games.
Flacco should have undoubtedly been 6.
Yeah, no, he's last. He's last.
Putting him at 4 was nuts. Who did that?
Well, after we put 5 and 6, we had to put 4.
That's what I was saying. You know. I think when you do a blind ranking, you want to put your first few guys in the middle.
Shush. All right, this is your first rodeo.
No, it ain't.
You told me you could read me. You said you
I
got
thought
it.
I could. Flacco was out of left field. Shocked the shit out of me.
Brother, that's Cap. I do them sometimes on TikTok.
What, you edit them for us?
No, like I do them for myself on TikTok.
What do you mean? You blind
cook.
rank for yourself?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I make blind ranking videos on my own account.
The
brother.
filters. They count.
Come on now.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say, John? Hot takes pertaining to the NBA draft and the first overall pick? Or are you good off that?
Last night was one of the weirdest drafts of all time because Zachary Shashir went with the first overall pick.
Is that cool? I'm just being a prick.
I don't. Okay.
All right, go ahead. My bad, John. My bad.
Thanks, bro. Zachary Shashir is the worst first overall pick. Zachary Shashir is the worst first overall pick since Anthony Bennett in 2013. But I don't hate the pick, though, at the
DeAndre
same exact
Ayton?
time. DeAndre Ayton was a way better prospect.
was.
Even though
He
he
was.
never
He was.
fulfilled
He
his
was.
potential, Ayton was a good
say
prospect.
this.
They picked him over Trae Young and Luka.
It's actually was
DeAndre Ayton
dumb.
was a better prospect than Alex Sarr.
He was. He definitely was.
DeAndre Ayton going over Luka was honestly.
Marvin Bagley
It
was
was
a better prospect.
Marvin
at
Bagley
the
was a
time.
better
I
prospect.
thought that was a
This-
mistake.
Should we say? I guess this saying discriminatory is strong, but saw Luka overseas, white. Oh, we don't know European players.
No, definitely
Ayton
the
was just that
preconceived
good.
notions about Europeans affected Luka not
little
being
bit,
the first
yeah.
overall pick.
Also,
People
Ayton
didn't
was
buy
just
into
that
him
fucking
But
early
also
in the campaign.
DeAndre in, he played in Arizona. The Suns had the first overall pick. He was supposed to be Shaq.
He was like a 25.
That's what they
and
compared
12.
he was strong as shit.
No, yeah, they were comparing him to all-time great centers, and his motor is what cost him. Because if he had the motor to really dominate, I think he could dominate. He's talented.
I agree. And that's just the toughest thing about this draft cycle, because I think so often we look at the top of NBA drafts and that's what defines it. The 2023 NBA draft is going to be just like the playoffs. It's going to be this year defined by the quality of role players. And so I think that's what made it probably the weirdest draft I've ever seen. I think Risa Shear is going to be a top 5 player from this class. And at the same exact time, it is the worst pick that we've seen, number 1 in 11 years.
Oh, man, I thought you were going to say he was going to be like a bust or something.
No, I think he's got a super high floor. He's a good two-way player.
I mean,
but
wouldn't that be a bust?
if he's going to be a really impactful starter, it'd be a disappointment.
Every draft has at least 3 All-Stars.
I heard someone say it's Rogaine, Nick Batum, and I thought that was a good comparison.
I'm fucking crying.
You know, as of recently, there was a report that came out. So in the NFL, huge contracts have been given out this offseason. Trevor Lawrence got a huge contract. Jared Goff got a huge contract. The Dolphins have reportedly said they do not want to pay Tua that type of money. They are apart in negotiations right now. Do you think it's disrespectful right now that the Dolphins, they don't want to pay Tua his money? They don't want to pay Tua what the Jaguars paid Trevor Lawrence, what the Lions paid Jared Goff. Do you think it's disrespectful for them to not do it?
Let me say this, and obviously we all understand that I love Tua more than 99% of the world. This was his first season being fully healthy for every single game. And his NFL career. So why would I anticipate this team be prepared to immediately give him $55 million a year for the next 4 or 5 seasons? Do I believe he's earned that money? For sure. Just led the league in yards, was top 5 in touchdowns. You want to get into the advanced statistics. Of course, you're going to see Tua's name in the top 5 in a lot of those categories that a lot of people cared about until, of course, Tua and Brock Purdy broke onto the scene of that combo. But again, when it comes to being smart about it and wanting to see one more year of him being able to stay healthy, I can understand it. And also, you're not putting yourself on the books for $55 million this upcoming season. They're trying to test how long they can go without giving him this lengthy amount of money. He also needs to show that he can win in the playoffs. Do I think he's deserving of $55 million? Absolutely. You saw Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence specifically, who has not done what Tua has shown this past season at all in his career. He has the one playoff win, but he also threw 4 INTs in that game. So to me, I think that he is deserving of $55 million, but I understand the team having their reservations, wanting to see one more year since he has struggled with health in his career in the NFL.
I think health is the biggest thing when it comes to Tua. The second biggest thing is that he doesn't perform in big-time games.
Dallas.
That's the second biggest thing. It's not a big-time game, man.
The team you said was going to the bowl.
That's not a big-time game.
We got you.
Against the Cowboys,
We
it's
got
not.
him.
Trust
We
me.
fucking got
It's
him.
not a big-time game.
We fucking
You
got
want to
him.
know what's a big-time game? A big-time game is you could clinch the AFC East if you beat the Tennessee Titans at home in prime time. That's a big-time game.
They were up double digits. The defense blew it. Talk about the defense.
A big-time
Talk
game
about the
is
defense.
facing one of the top teams in the AFC and the Baltimore Ravens on the road,
Well,
so
that-
you can have a
that
chance at the
Cowboys game
first
mattered
seed.
for seeding.
No, it mattered, but the games that mattered even more, the Titans game, the Ravens game, and then, of course, Week 18 for the division crown, that final game mattered more. In those very high-pressure state games, Tua's just not good enough. And I wouldn't commit that much money to him. You can talk about Trevor Lawrence and how his stats don't par up with Tua. I think he has to carry a bigger load offensively. And I think from what I watch when I see Trevor Lawrence, he just does more. He's a better quarterback than Tua. I think Tua's offensive support system masks a lot of his deficiencies that cannot get covered up when he does face better teams, and that's why he struggles. So I think Tua's not deserving of a Goff type deal. But to be fair,
Goff can, but no, not Tua.
to be fair, I didn't think Goff was worth that amount of money either. But the Lions have such a set foundation because of what they've been able to do in the draft that they can afford the luxury, and their window right now is to go all in. For the Dolphins, a lot of quality impact players are leaving because they have to pay these guys they have now. Christian Wilkins is the latest example of that. So for me, Tua, I think it is disrespectful. I would take it that way if I was him.
Why?
Because, like you said, you look at the numbers and he's number one, and a lot of them he's top 5 in a lot of them. But we know he's not a top 5 quarterback because numbers could lie sometimes, and they lie with him.
Top 5 quarterback too.
Huh?
Garoppolo, top 5 quarterback in 2019.
Just because he was fucking top 3 in EPA, who gives a fuck?
No, and like many other passing measures.
No one fucking ever associated
receptions.
Garoppolo near top 10.
But he was top 10 and top 5 in many production measures. Now, Drew, my question is,
Yo,
Tua
is this fucking guy dead ass, Riv?
in 2019, Jimmy Garoppolo had 30 touchdowns, took great care of the football, was super accurate, and was really damn good on a team that went to the Super Bowl.
And he had a game in the NFC Championship where he didn't even pass for 100 fucking yards.
What did Tua do in the wild card?
People lost their fingers, John.
I know. I'm not laughing at that. I'm smiling because I think this is kind of crazy, this combo.
It's complete. It's hilarious, bro.
Do you think Tua Tagovailoa ever wins the Dolphins a playoff game?
Yes.
Did he win them one on a rookie contract?
No.
What makes you think he'll win them one on a $55 million deal?
That's a
He's
funny
great.
question.
He's great.
The fuck?
He's not
Team's
better than
great
Joe
around
Burrow.
him.
He's not better than Lamar Jackson. He's not better than Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Jared Goff, he's better than him, and Jared Goff won multiple playoff games. Let's fucking cut the
One
shit.
run. That shit was kind of.
I don't know if he's better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff got a way better arm than Tua.
That's literally, that might be the only thing he has on him.
He reads the field better too.
No, he does not.
He's smarter.
End the convo. Riv, go. Talk. I can't hear this.
Garoppolo only had 27 TDs in 29.
Yeah, 30 was fucking
Yo,
outlandish.
stop talking about Jimmy G.
I don't want to
bro.
fucking hear his name again.
You think Tua's better than Jared Goff?
They're in the same tier.
Jared Goff has went to 2 different teams and he has took them to the NFC Championship game. If not
Todd
further,
Gurley was the engine
what are you
of that
talking
team,
about?
though.
No, he wasn't. Tyreek Hill's the engine of the Dolphins.
I'm always disagreeing there.
He said the engine was Todd Gurley. You're disagreeing?
No, I don't disagree. He was the
Todd Gurley
engine.
was the engine of that team.
But Tyreek Hill's the engine of the Dolphins offense.
100%.
I'm disagreeing.
Nobody's disagreeing with you.
What's
there.
wrong with that? Tyreek Hill's an all-time grade.
And Todd Gurley in that prom, he had a great.
He's our Bo Jackson,
Todd
Yeah,
Gurley was
and he
fucking
clears Bo
amazing.
Jackson.
But with the Lions, I feel like Jared Goff, He did his thing.
If Tua goes on to onto Detroit, he doesn't do the same shit.
Their offense gets worse to me. Goff's an amazing fit.
They lose to the Bucks. They lose to the Bucks.
He's an amazing fit in their offense.
They don't make it past the
Is that a dome game? Is that a dome game?
Yes, it's a dome game.
Hey,
it's a
Tua,
dome
Tua
game.
looks a little
What's
different.
the only game in December that Tua won? Guess.
In a dome.
Take a fucking guess.
I'm bugging. They don't get past the Rams, brother. He doesn't
That's a dome game.
He doesn't outdo
That's their
Matthew Stafford.
Top 5 quarterback.
Did Goff outduel Matthew Stafford?
No, he didn't. It was close though. It was close. He made it closer because he made some big time plays on third down. Don't forget that.
I
He
will
was
say
great.
this.
He was great.
You forget the game-winning drive against Dallas. You really fucking do, man.
A regular
He
season game.
doesn't care about
You're a
that.
What are
fucking
we talking
bastard.
about?
You're a
What are
fucking
we talking
bastard.
about?
I will say this. The conversation about Tua.
How many playoff wins does Geno Smith have?
Geno Smith's a much better playmaker out of structure. Against pressure, way better. Way better against pressure. It's not even close.
Geno Smith is like that. He's like that.
Geno better than Tua, in your opinion, John?
I think they're like the two closest quarterbacks in the NFL. Like in terms of ranking. Like I have Geno one spot above Tua.
We're like, just throw a number.
Like 17, 18.
Okay, so you think Tua's like the 18th best quarterback in the league? So 40 million is egregious.
Not factoring in injuries though. So like Tua's gonna be after injuries, like usually like a top 15, top 12 quarterback.
So like, okay.
in rankings, you know?
So 40 million is egregious to you. Like, why would I pay him that?
I don't think it's egregious because I mean he's one of the key parts of an elite offense, but I don't think he's ever gonna win the Dolphins.
Well,
playoff game.
Geno Smith's cap hit, his contract was like $25 million annually. I mean,
He's a lot older,
I
too.
think
No, that contract's fire.
Yeah, I think Tua and him are like 35 mil. You know, they're around that. Geno got a steal for a contract right now.
Did Geno lead the league in yards?
Ooh.
He led the league in game-winning drives.
Geno had a way worse offensive line, did a lot.
Don't hit me with this way worse offensive line shit when Tua has never had a good offensive line, John.
Brother,
Never.
The Seahawks.
Name me 2 offensive linemen on the Dolphins right now, and I will Venmo you $20.
Teron Armstead and Austin Jackson.
Good shit. Name a third.
Corey Brewer. Corey Brewer.
That was fast, bro. Venmo him.
$20 is valid.
Venmo my boy. Did you disrespect him?
Damn.
Didn't even name Connor Williams.
I thought he was going to name
He's not
Robert
on the
Hunt.
team right now.
Connor is a free agent. That's fair.
Is Robert Hunt still there?
He's gone. He's on
Did
the
you
Panthers.
say Corey Brewer?
Yeah, that's the basketball
Aaron Burr.
player.
Aaron Burr, I'm sorry.
And what team did you play for before that?
Aaron Burr?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
This
They
is-
signed him from somewhere.
That's easy. That's easy.
Yeah. I mean, I do know the answer because obviously I have to know the Dolphins. It's
The
kind of
Broncos.
Who?
Broncos?
No.
No.
What
Kind of
team?
challenging. The team that actually signed. No, that was Panthers. It was Tennessee.
Oh, it was Tennessee. Okay.
was. He's a
I don't know
center.
why I said Corey Brewer. Oh, you
What do
want to
you
know
think,
why? We
Riff?
talked about Florida before. That's why.
Well, this conversation has definitely been hilarious. I think the Miami Dolphins have been struggling with Tua's injury back to back years. You know, I think him coming in from the start with the hip injury, then the concussions have been really messing with his mind. Then on top of that, you know, this team really does tend to struggle when they play top competition or when the weather gets a little cold, gets a little icy. Like, that's a legitimate thing, you know, and they just – Jared Goff got the money, I feel like, because he won 2 playoff games. And I think when you win playoff games, that just changes the whole mindset. You know, Jordan Love's going to get played because he went out on Dallas and he won that road game. If I'm not mistaken, they was holding out on Dak's money a couple of years ago, too.
They
They kept giving him, what's shit called? The franchise tag back-to-back years.
2 white
They kept
boys
doing-
get their money, but, you know.
Yeah.
the color in this
Listen, we'll
game.
talk about that another time, you know. But Dak, there was also, that's Jerry Jones. He claimed he loved Dak. Dak was pretty much the franchise guy there, and they took a while to pay him. So, you know, when you don't have a playoff win on your resume, and when you do, and don't get me wrong, Tua is a good quarterback, and when he starts the year, he's always on fucking fire. But I think his problem is staying consistent throughout a 16-7 game season. And I think that's the tough part. And I think Miami's looking at the situation like, well, we know what you look like when, you know, it's nice out and when it's early in the year, but do you finish strong? You haven't fully been able to finish strong, whether it's due to injuries or just the, you know, the weather, the competition. And although they did beat Dallas, you still had a bad record against, you know, competitive teams last year, unfortunately.
Defense was terrible.
Defense was terrible. Had an opportunity
They only talk about Tua.
had an opportunity to win division against Buffalo.
Choked.
Unfortunately, you could not get that W. against the Ravens a couple weeks where the Ravens went out there and absolutely butt fucked y'all. So, it's been a couple times where they, and then even the year before that, Miami makes the playoffs. Unfortunately, Tua is not there to play in that game. So it's been a combination of injuries and just not playing up to standards. And I think that's why they're probably going to hold out. But I think Tua eventually gets his money, man.
The most interesting thing that I'm looking forward to has nothing to do with this year. It's all about next year. Where does Dak Prescott go to next season? If the Cowboys and him cannot agree to a contract, they need to pay CeeDee Lamb, Micah, and Dak.
They know who to pay.
Only 2 of those 3 could get paid, and I think they're going with CeeDee and Micah. What's the perfect destination for Dak Prescott next season?
So I had the 3. I thought just top destinations for Dak Prescott.
What's number 1 for you?
On my list, I did have the Cowboys. I feel like they should re-sign him. I think that he should be their quarterback of the future. Next on that list, San Francisco 49ers. If they don't think that Brock Purdy can be that guy, they go and they sign Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott can go and be the quarterback of the future. I think Brock Purdy is the quarterback of the future. That being said, if San Francisco isn't on that same page, I'm just throwing it out there that it could be a possibility, Riv. I like Brock Purdy. I would even go as far as say I love Brock Purdy.
He's more playoff wins already.
He does.
He's one of them ones.
But again, we see in situations where quarterbacks teams get cold feet with quarterbacks. Shit, you can even I won't have Miami on this list, but Miami could also be on this list with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Last team I have on here, most importantly to me, the Denver Broncos. Legitimately, we have the money to offer to him. It could be a Russell Wilson situation part 2, but I feel like at this point, Dak has I don't see a fall off like Russell Wilson's with Dak. Dak sees all over the field. He can get out of the pocket and still extend plays in that regard too. I think Dak Prescott to the Broncos also can be a strong possibility. We have a strong offensive line. We don't really have weapons on the outside, but we are building in that regard. That's really going to be what we have to add next, but that would be the last spot for me.
The number 1 destination that I want to see Dak Prescott go to next year, if he's a free agent, is the New York Giants. Go to a division rival. It's a team that they don't have a quarterback. Daniel Jones is not the quarterback in the future.
God. Can you at least give him a chance with Malik?
They don't have the money. Well, they aren't tied to him long term. After this season,
they can get out.
They could cut him. They could get out of his contract, and now you just free up a ton of cap space. Cap space that could be used to go get Dak Prescott in Brian Dable's system with a weapon like Malik Neighbors. Dak Prescott would be amazing in New York, and he goes to a division rival. He plays Dallas twice a year, so he gets to beat them twice a year. I think that's the perfect destination for him.
Like a Brett Favre 2.0 going to Minnesota?
Yep.
Tough.
John, what you got, man?
I think the best Dak Prescott destination would be a team that not too many people will be thinking of. It's Las Vegas Raiders. I look at that.
Definitely had that thought in my brain.
I look at that quarterback room right now.
Vegas makes a lot of sense.
It's Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew that they just signed this offseason. And I think Dak would come in, and I don't know why y'all giggling so much, but he would come in for a super talented offense. And a defense that's building something around Max Crosby, one of the premier pass rushers in the game. There's a lot of talent on that team, but I think upgrading that quarterback would really be what elevates them just to being a 9 or 10 win team. And I think after years of dysfunction and turbulence, Dak would be a pillar of stability and structure. He can help you have elite offenses if you give him good weapons. Is he going to win a playoff game? Probably not. But I think he could be more than good enough for Raider fans to be happy.
And they would have Devontae Adams, Jacoby. They would have a really good team. Brock Bowers.
A lot of tight ends.
I think the most important thing for him to think about is why would I go to the AFC? Why would that make sense? Because I think the AFC hosts probably 7 out of 10 best quarterbacks in the world.
You can't even get past the first round in the NFC.
Yeah, but like now you're going to go over to the AFC where most of those quarterbacks, the top guys, are pretty much so much better than you. Mm-hmm. And it's already a stranglehold in the AFC. Your best bet is to stay in the NFC. I've thought about a couple teams. Money is just tricky. I've thought about Cleveland. If Deshaun Watson doesn't work out, go over there.
Lit.
You already have a defense there. Amari Cooper, though, he's getting up there in age. I thought about maybe Tampa Bay swapping quarterbacks. You know, Baker Mayfield is good, but Dak Prescott is an obvious upgrade. You know, and then I thought about him staying in Dallas because I think ultimately that's kind of been his home for the past 7 to 8 years, however long he's been there. That's kind of been
longest tenured quarterback on the same team.
Yeah, it's shocking. And I think, you know, as much slack as Dak gets, I do think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league, and I do think he can do it. It's just about if Dallas can even put the pieces together. But I definitely think Cleveland would be like my favorite dope spot if it can happen. If Deshaun flames out. Pittsburgh is another one.
Pittsburgh's a good spot.
That's dope. Like those two teams I'm thinking are teams that are like a quarterback away.
No.
What do you mean no?
Why?
Why is it no?
I don't want to commit so much money to Dak Prescott because I think he would put a ceiling on our team and rather take a swing on a quarterback in the draft rather than Dak on the wrong side.
You don't even get bad enough to
The
take a
last swing you
quarterback.
took on a quarterback was Kenny Pickett, and he sucks.
That wasn't a swing to me. That was a reach.
Took him in the first round. That's a swing.
We can.
Reach,
Is
swing,
Justin
fucking
Fields
we can trade up for a
a
quarterback.
swing?
It's the best swing.
It's an exciting move. I think we could always trade up for a quarterback. We see it every single year. As a Steeler fan, I don't want to see Dak.
Listen, I think
I don't understand why.
He's a really good quarterback.
The Steelers is a good destination. I think another good one would be the Tennessee Titans.
You're just saying that because you want to see us suffer.
If Will Levis is not that guy, which who knows if he's going to be, we don't know yet. Dak Prescott going to the Tennessee Titans, I think that would give them some stability, and they will be able to compete in the AFC South every year.
I don't disagree at all.
The other team for me, I mentioned the Raiders before, that I think would be a perfect situation for Dak Prescott to win a playoff game in would be the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they have Deshaun Watson's contract in the books for the next 2 years after this season, and they're kind of stuck to that. But in 2 years, I think Dak going into that offense with how much middle of the field targets they have would be an absolute weapon through the pocket. They've got a really good defense. It ain't that funny. I promise you, dog. And they've got a good enough running game. Him and Kevin Stefanski would be a really damn good duo.
I'll tell you what. I did not think of that.
Dak Prescott and Cleveland. What are you giggling at? What's so funny to you, Riff? Let's hear it. I want to hear it, Riff. Come on.
Yo, that shit is breaking news.
It's like I just said that.
He just said all of this.
And then you just repeated it.
John,
That's why we all looked at you like
facts.
I'm
John,
not
he
the
said
only one
all
laughing,
of it.
John. Why
Nah,
are you
nah.
like singling me
John,
out?
I'm sorry. It's true. He said all of this.
Did you not hear it, or you did hear it, but you just wanted to say your 2 cents on it?
It's all right to say you didn't hear it. I think I would rather.
I did not hear it.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, that makes more sense.
I can tell you why.
Because you don't listen to Riff when he speaks?
Not that.
Thank God. We would have had it.
I was scanning through the list of teams, and when I was scanning through, I didn't hear all the teams you mentioned.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair, John.
That's why we all looked at you kind of like, bro. Like,
What a way to end the show.
All right,
John,
thank you guys for
John,
watching.
You're funny. That's
I
a talent.
enjoyed myself so much this episode.
That's a
Great
talent,
job,
man.
John.
Thank you.
This is going to do it for episode 388. You guys can follow us on Twitter at PickAsidePod, on Instagram and TikTok at PickAsidePodcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.